Calion,
Paul,
great to see you.
how you doing, buddy?
It's been a little while, but
It's been quite a while, yeah.
thanks for coming over. You're number 3, conversations number 3.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I'm in the Trinity. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the Trinity right now. This is Calion Maston. I know Calion. We're actors together. You were in our movie, and I say our, I mean in all of us, not just ours.
Yeah.
Cowboy Zombies, which
Yeah.
I re-edited. Cowboy Zombies 1875, I think.
Yeah.
Sergeant Bale, U.S. Army.
Marshal Frank Wilcox.
Pleasure.
That's how we know each other.
That's how we know each other, yeah.
Welcome back. How you been?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Life, life throws you curveballs and you keep moving. You know,
Yeah.
was it lemons, but I make lemonade. So, yeah.
Is that like a New York Yankees quote?
New York Yankees quote, exactly. When the life throws you curveballs,
Yeah, let me check
swing
our
with a
sound.
new Johnsonville brought.
Yeah, but boy, isn't that true? Life
It
is.
is, yeah.
It's all about getting curveballs, right?
It's all about giving curveballs.
Yeah,
it's
I
all-
think-
and stepping up to the plate, so to speak.
Yeah, well, I mean, God, life is being at the plate, right? And
Consistently.
yeah,
No, you don't. You're going to run, and then you're going to come right back to the plate and swing again.
you know, it's funny you mentioned that. Like, at what age do we realize that? Hey, they're throwing balls at me. I mean, you know what I mean? It's
You
like-
know,
'cause, like, think back to being a kid.
Gosh.
Because there's a moment where you've got your family and you're eating and everything's good, but do you remember the moment where you realized, oh,
I think we call it adulting now. Is
Well,
what they call it.
does
And you're
it
like,
happen
oh,
before
gosh.
that though? I mean, like before you're in school, maybe. I mean,
It depends on the trajectory of the life, I guess.
Yeah.
For me, I was a foster kid, and
Oh, were you?
And
I
so
didn't
life
know.
has thrown me curveballs since since I was like 7. But when it really hit me, I must have been like 19, because I started working when I was full time when I was 14. And
Right.
So you're like, gosh, what am I doing? Gosh, I've been working for 30.
And-
Working for 30 years,
and you're still working.
and I'm still working.
But the key is are you working at what you like?
I am.
All right. Well, that's
I
the
am.
key, right? So-
I am. Finding something you like, something you enjoy. And people say it all the time, but I really do believe that if you find something you enjoy, you're still working. I don't
Right.
think it's ever not work, but at least you enjoy the work that you're doing.
Yeah, I agree with that because I work hard, but I love what I do. So
Right,
it's
yeah.
like and people say, "Oh, you're going to retire." No, why would I retire? I mean, it's not work to me. So
It's part of who you are. It's just what you do.
yeah, I think artists and writers and you're in that too. You're different because you have a need to create,
Listen,
right?
I am, and I know you're the same. Just like you were talking about, you mentioned Cowboy Zombies, and you re-edited it and re-edited it and re-edited it until it was just, I am just all day just up writing. Ooh, I got another story. I got another story. I got another story, and it's like it's in there, and it's gotta come out.
Right.
And if I'm not doing it, it's weird.
Yeah, I wonder what it's like to not, because I've always been this way. I always needed to draw or paint or write or do some sort of performing kind of
Creatives,
thing.
yeah.
But a lot of people aren't like that, so they have no idea. Which is, because I always said being an artist was a blessing and a curse.
It is.
Yeah, and the curse is like you feel a lot, you feel more, and not that artists are better or special, but it's just something that you're born with. I don't even know how
I think
to.
there's a sensitivity that comes with being an artist because you have to feel.
Yeah.
You've got this painting in the back. I didn't know you painted, but you also direct, and you also,
Yeah.
so in order to pull all those emotions and turn it into a picture on the canvas of life, and
Yeah.
then put a camera in front of it is difficult. How do you do that and not take some of that upon yourself? I remember I did a film called Water, and I gave myself so much to that project that at the end of it, I was waking up feeling like I was drowning.
No way.
Yeah, I would feel like I'm drowning, having nightmares about drowning. Waking up.
Because it took place in the water and you were
Yeah,
okay.
it was a
so
horror
you-
film
oh.
about. I remember the director, because I don't swim.
Oh, no. There's a problem.
There's a problem. And he just, he flies off the top. He's a guy that just comes up with these ideas out in the middle of the sea. No, it'd be great if you just jumped in the water.
Yeah, that's not
And
happening.
I'm like, I don't swim. And you want me to dive into this 12-foot deep pool? That's not happening.
Yeah. Well, I think we should teach you how to swim. Number one.
I'll be honest. I've got a couple of really good buddies.
Yeah.
One of them's a Army guy. Another one's a Marine guy. And they're great swimmers.
Yeah.
And they've taken me to the Y, to the Olympic-sized pool, and I sink.
I could
like
get
rock.
you to swim. I could.
Maybe my brain is just locked in there. He's like, nah.
It's so easy,
It's
bro.
so easy. Just lay there and float.
You can do anything. Look at all the things you've done in your life. You're going to tell me, like, you know how to ride a bike?
Yeah, absolutely.
Remember being a kid and not knowing how to ride a bike, and the first time you get on and do it?
And you're wobbling and everything.
Oh, yeah, you fall over. And then I remember my stepfather did it to me, and I thought he was still holding me. I looked back, he wasn't there. I fell over. But there's that scare. It's the same as that.
I think as a kid, there's this mindset of, okay, we're going to figure this out. We're going to get it done. 'Cause I remember when I learned how to ride a bike, I didn't learn how to ride a small bike.
Yeah.
I think I was 6, and it was a big mountain bike. And dang it, a bike was bigger than me, but I got on that thing and I learned how to ride it. And I got to the point to where I saw a guy riding with one hand, so I tried it. And I saw a guy riding with no hands, and I tried it. It was great. Don't ask me to ride a bike with no hands now, though.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if my
how about a bike
equilibrium is right.
into a pool?
Bike into a
Yeah.
pool.
I think you need a big pool because you took a big bike. So, but anyway, I think you could learn how to swim. Put that on the list of
it is on the
bucket
list of
list.
things to do.
Yeah.
It is on my bucket list of things to do. Learn to actually swim.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, we used to the daycare I would go to used to take us to the neighborhood pool, and I remember, and this is probably why I have a thing about swimming. I remember a kid pushed me in, and I sank to the bottom of the 13-foot deep pool, and I was just down there, and all I could think was, act like a frog. And so I wound up getting to the ladder and climbing out. But ever since then, it's just something about, I love the water. I love the water. As long as it's able to be over my head.
Yeah, okay. Well, we'll put that on the list.
I'll see a hypnoptist and they'll
maybe
fix me.
Well,
you can swim really good.
you can swim. So you're a foster kid. So
Yeah.
So how old were you when you were like bouncing around from?
Gosh. We went into foster care when I was 5.
5.
And then I was in there until I was 9. Yeah. And so bouncing around from home to home, from place to place.
Well, how was that? How were the families like? It's a lot to ask of a kid.
It's a
Isn't it?
lot to ask of a kid.
Yeah.
And different families, different people treat you differently.
I bet.
I'll just say that. I was with one family, and they were really mean. We'll put it that way. I remember being with another family, and I was in a home it was a bunch of girls, and it was me. And I accidentally, I was laying on the floor playing with my Ghostbusters toys. And the little girl walked by, and my foot kicked her in the face as I was swinging my foot. And the man, this guy grabbed me by the throat, slammed me against the wall, and was like, if you ever hurt my family, my daughter, I'll kill you. And it was
and
crazy.
You're 5?
And I was about 8 at this time.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, it's just right there in your head, and you're like, then we had to go to church the next day.
How long did you stay with these people?
I wound up moving. I told my caseworker, I said, well, I just want to go because it's all girls here and I need to be with boys. I didn't say the man threatened to kill me.
Do you know who these people are now?
Not a clue.
Not a clue.
I only know about one family that my twin sister and I were with.
Yeah. Did you go together?
We went to this one family together.
Wow.
Yeah, they were called the Morrisons. And the Morrisons were an older couple. They were probably about the age I am now when they took us in. They had grown kids, and they took us in. And they actually wanted to adopt us, which is really interesting. And we wound up going back to my mom. They moved to Oklahoma. Never found him. Never. They used to write, and then they stopped writing. And years ago, gosh, this must be about 10 years, 8 years ago now, that We found them on Facebook, and they were in Muskogee, Oklahoma.
Muskogee, Oklahoma.
I think it's what it's called. And we called them, and we went to visit. And this the really interesting part. Miss Barbara said that she was going through their attic, and they found a box that said Tucson on it, and they found our Polaroid. And she said, "Charles, whatever happened to the twins?"
Oh,
And 5 minutes later, we called them.
that's very strange, huh?
And
Must have blown their mind, right?
blow their mind. So we went out there, and they had this sort of old Victorian home, but it was rather large. It was like a little mini mansion. They had been keeping foster kids
All this time.
all that time. And they said initially they didn't want to do it because it was too hard to take the kids in and to love them and then see them go.
Well, how did they? If you're having a good time, and they are too, how did they go? Why wouldn't they have stayed? Is there a process?
So with when you've got foster kids, some kids stay with you long term.
Yeah.
Some kids you have an option to adopt. Some kids, they shift out. Just depends on the system of the state that you're at. They had, I think, over almost 300 kids go through their home, and they adopted a couple of them.
Yeah.
And wound up putting them through, through school and what have you. But they were just wonderful people.
So you had a good visit with them.
It was a great visit.
Yeah.
It was a great visit. We wound up staying there and just reconnecting with them a couple of times. Mr. Charles has passed on now, but the best part, and it's a great memory for me, before he passed, we went into his study. The man had a study.
Right, yeah.
And
a library.
Right. We put on some Miles Davis on the record player.
Yeah.
We sat, we drank some coffee, and we just talked about life.
Yeah.
And sitting with, for me, I enjoy sitting with elder men.
You're pointing at me.
You're an elder. You're an elder. Let's be honest.
I don't think I'm an elder, but I think I'm about 15. But what I get now is I get served a lot, but I'm also finding that I get respect because I've just lived this long, and I'm in the business, so people respect that I've been in the movie business.
It's a hard business to be in.
Yeah, especially for decades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll just say decades. We won't say exactly how long, Paul.
Well, no, you can look me up. Anyone can. I can't. I'm not. There's a lot of actors and people in the public eye that you look at them, up, and there's no date. Like somehow they've scrubbed the date of when they were born. Like it doesn't make you any younger.
We don't want you to know how old we are.
Yeah, and I've never had plastic surgery, so I'm starting to look pretty. I don't know. I'm pretty weathered.
I mean, they got these injections now, apparently.
Oh, no, dude. I hate, you hate swimming. I hate injections. I could never be a junkie.
Did you see that film called The Substance with Demi Moore?
No, I don't think so.
And it was about this very thing, about you're getting older, the industry changes, they don't want to book you as much.
Right.
And so she takes this product called The Substance, and her younger self comes out.
Oh, that's the one she was nominated for. Right? I got to see.
It was very good. It got really weird at the end.
Yeah.
But it was very, very good.
Yeah.
Just the vanity of the industry that we're in.
Oh.
And what people do to actually keep working.
Yeah. It's a strange. When I first moved to Hollywood, I was young. And I was good looking and young, and a lot of well-known people came on to me, and I won't name some names, but there were some. But I remember the first thing I did is I went to this party, and it was a party for an aging soap star, and the press, the soap star press was there, and they were taking pictures and video, and I'll never forget this. She went like this. She took my hand, like take my hand. I'll be her. Hello. Now try to release the hand.
She's like,
no, pull the hand back.
Oh.
And then she says, she's holding my hand like a death grip. And then she says, "You can let go now."
You're holding on to me.
No, but nobody knew that.
Nobody knew that, yeah.
So it made it appear that I was so in awe of her that
awe of her, yeah.
And then I remember noting, "Ooh, this is a tough place." And I was right, but that was my first indication. So
I remember when I moved out there and I tried my hand at it, and I wound up moving into one of those actor hostels right off of Franklin and Western.
Oh yeah.
And
I missed that one. I'm glad.
He's like, I missed that.
Yeah, I just moved to a shitty apartment.
Right? A little hole in the wall.
Yeah. But I had roommates too. Yeah.
I moved into this first I wound up staying at a place, and it was sort of a halfway house. And I was like, I can't stay here. It was all like,
I'm an actor, not a criminal.
I'm an actor, not a criminal, which, depending on who you're talking to.
Yeah.
So I wound up moving into this actor hostel, and the guy who ran like 4 or 5 different actor hostels up and down the road there. These little, the little mini mansions up there. And wound up staying in a place right across the street from Griffith Park. And there's a gas station right here, and here's the house. And so I move in. There's this big Zulu guy who's rooming with me. I go in there, and I've got all this food. Well, he ate all my food. I was like, yeah, bro, you can have some noodles or something. This guy ate all my food in like a day. It was
like
all
being
gone.
in the joint.
Like being in the joint, And I was like, okay, don't be friendly to people. And then he was a Taoist. And so he gets up at like 3 a.m. and he's in the backyard, and he's and connecting with the universe. And then he gets himself in the shower. This guy's like 7'1", and is just singing. Every morning he would sing, "Bitch better have my money," loud at the top of his lungs in this accent. Better have my motherfucking money.
Where was he from?
I know he was Zulu.
Real Zulu.
Yeah, real Zulu.
Yeah,
real Zulu.
From Africa.
From Africa, yeah, real Zulu.
Yeah, not a play. Play Zulu, yeah.
And
wow.
The guy who ran those hostels, he won I'll leave his name out of it, but he won a daytime Oscar for a web show that he did. And he came into the house one night talking about this Oscar, and the guy lost it. And I remember I was laying in bed, and I heard God tell me, get up and leave. I got up, got my little Suzuki Grand Vitara, and left. Within 15 minutes, he had shown up at the house, and he was talking about his Oscar, how he was going to win another one. Apparently, they laughed at him or something, and he got a knife and started cutting folks.
You're kidding?
And no, you can look it up.
This really happened?
This really happened. And he wrestled the kid to the bed that I was laying on not 15 minutes before and stabbed him.
Whoa.
Yes.
And this is where you were living?
I was living here. The guy he was doing a show, a film called El Landlord. And it had something to do with a landlord from Colombia.
This is the Knife Man.
Yeah, this is the Knife Man, who was like letting people into the house.
We're looking this up later.
Look it up. We can look it up. Look it up. You can look it up right now.
Okay.
If you look up, I think his name is Andre Bouth. I said I wouldn't say his name, but I'm saying it.
Yeah. Well, it's history.
It's his story. It's history.
Andre
it's right there.
what?
Like Andre Bouth or Booth or something
like that. Is he in
that.
prison now or what?
And I don't know where he is.
But he stabbed people.
But he stabbed the guy.
Oh, my.
And he wound up. No, this is because it's stranger than fiction, and people think, oh, you go to L.A. and not Bluth, Bouthoscar.
That is a crazy. I've heard a lot of crazy stories in Hollywood, but that's one of the craziest.
Stabs. House guest. Yeah, daytime Emmy winner found guilty of attempted murder.
Yeah, knives kill, right?
Stabbed a tenant who laughed at him. I mean, it's no joke.
Let me see.
It's no joke.
Oh, that was the police, right?
He stabbed the tenant who laughed at him. And
we might even put up his picture. Oh my, that's
stabbed the guy. And so I was like, I can't do this.
Did you leave Hollywood just then, or did you?
No, I stayed.
Okay.
And I lived out of my Suzuki Grand Vitara. It was a green 2001 Suzuki Grand Vitara. But you know how tough that town is.
Oh, yeah,
I couldn't get an agent to save my life. I couldn't get auditions to save my life. And when I finally decided, okay, I'm going back to Phoenix. On the road back to Phoenix, I get a call like, hey, we'd like to have you come in and talk about, you joining our agency or what have you. But then I connected with some friends of mine, and they said, no, don't sign with them. They only want to sign you because you look like you look like a couple of their other actors, and they just want to keep you from auditions.
Oh.
So I was like,
so that's what that was.
Yeah, that's what that was.
You know what's funny about that? When I went to Hollywood, I was like you. I was naive. I was going to be, an actor, director, and that's what I wanted to be. But when I got further along, and I was pretty savvy at that point. But Castle Rock, Rob Reiner's company.
Yeah.
We had a pilot we were pitching, and this is back when they were doing Seinfeld. They were hot. And they bought our pilot, and I'm like, oh yeah, I made it. And I had an office on Maple Drive, at Castle Rock, me and my partner. And we sat in there and we kept taking meetings. And they said, we can't find a writer for this. And I'm like, well, you're Castle Rock. And then I called a friend of mine who was he's since passed away, but he was a big time. He produced The Cosby Show. And,
Oh, wow.
And I called him up. I said, what's going on? He goes, don't you get it?
They bought it.
They bought your pilot so it wouldn't compete with their work. They bought you, and I never went back to work. They paid me for a year. Yeah, they killed it. And I'm like,
God.
Come on, man. And now they did that to you. I'm so naive. I didn't know they did it with people.
Yeah, they do it with
I know
people.
they did it with projects, but they did it with you, a person.
Yeah, they'll take actors and say, you know what, you look like this person or this person.
Well, what agency was that? Good. Can we talk about what agency that was?
I don't even remember anymore.
We'll probably get sued, right? Yeah, well, as you and I know, it's a rough place.
It's a rough place. And I remember something you told me when we were shooting Cowboy Zombies. You were like, well, Calion, just think it's a marathon and not a sprint.
Yeah.
And you got to eat and you have to have a place to live.
Right.
And when you're younger and you're just like, no, I'm gung-ho and I want to do it, you don't think that you're going to wind up in L.A. on Skid Row.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't wind up on Skid Row, thank God. But
because you had a car,
living in my Suzuki
you had a nice
Vitara.
vehicle, yeah.
I had a decent vehicle,
yeah.
An SUV that would fit a large gentleman like myself.
Right. Yeah, it's I don't know. There were some moments in the beginning where I was penniless.
Yeah.
You know, and I always had and then I had a million roommates and we both Rico Ross,
yeah.
We were roommates for a long time, and Rico's done very well. But he had moments where. The first thing he got was that show. What was it? It was before NYPD Blue. It was called, what was the name of that show? I'll remember in a minute, but it was the show to be on.
Gosh, was it Hill Street?
Hill Street Blues, yeah. So me and Rico were basically slave waiters together. And we worked at a place called the Regency Club, and it was owned by a guy named David Murdoch. And it was for, rich people. And we served them, it was nice. It was a good place to work. But I was in there. Rico came in and he told the maitre d', he says, "Listen, I've got to take some time off." He goes, "Why, Rico?" And he had this German accent. I don't do the Austrian accents very, but he said, "Well, I've got this show. I'm on. It's a 2-week thing, and it was a nice guest star.
That's a nice gig, yeah."
And he goes, "Well, Rico, you have a big choice to make right here." And I remember I said, "Oh, there's a big choice." He goes, "You shut up.
You shut up. You have a big choice to make, Rico."
Yeah, he took off his stuff and walked out, and that was the moment where he, started. I don't know if I know he told another story. He was in Mission Impossible, and he had a little part. He played the security man in there, but there he was.
Right.
He's up there for a couple of minutes, and then when the movie came out, I was playing at Grumman's. It's now on Hollywood Boulevard.
Hollywood Boulevard, yeah.
And he was working at a coffee shop across the street. So people would go to the movie. They'd come in to get a coffee. They'd go,
and they'd see him.
What? Yeah, I just saw you in the movie. What are you doing here? He goes, "Well, I'm an actor, and that was a year ago. And I spent that money. Yeah, I
spent that money. You got to live."
But now he doesn't have to do that. But he's funny stuff. Yeah, it's a tough place. But enough about Hollywood. What have you been up to? I mean, you're still acting, right?
My last project that I did was with Paramount. I did. Oh gosh, Waco, The Aftermath.
Oh yeah.
And I got booked in that, and I had like a 2-day shoot, and I was so excited.
Yeah.
I was like, finally, something large enough. And
my agent at
something
the time, happened.
My agent was like, "Yo, your episode's coming up, and this, that, and the other." It wasn't a huge check, but it was a decent check.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh," but the real thing is, I'm finally on something that's going to be on Paramount Plus. It's a decent part, because. In that business, if people see you working, you'll work more. It is what it is.
Yeah, they call you, yeah.
And he's like, "This is your episode is coming up." Cut me out of the episode entirely.
Oh.
I was like, "Oh my God."
No.
And so I told God, I said, "God, I'm 40. I was 41 at the time."
Yeah.
And I said, "If, this is rough. And so I'm going to give it till I'm 44. And if I don't hit something, I'm retiring. I've been doing this since, I started acting in 07, 06. It's been quite a while.
Yeah.
And just nothing's really bit. And it was 3 days after that my agent called me. He had asked me to do an audition, and I had a job, travel for work. And so I'm in the airport, and I'm like, I can't do an audition right now. What am I supposed to do? Go into the bathroom and do it at the airport? I'll do it. I was on my way to New York. I was like, I'll do it when I land in New York. And he was like, you know what? I'm dropping you from the agency, which, okay, that's fine. But I was like, okay, God, I figure that's what you want. And about 12 hours later, a woman named Dr. Patricia Bailey called me. And she said, hey, I'm having some dreams about you coming out to Africa and helping us dig wells and stuff. You want to come? And so about 2 months later, I was in South Africa digging wells.
Well, who was this doctor? Who was she?
Dr. Patricia Bailey is she's a missionary.
Yeah.
And she has traveled. She's been to about 150, 160 different countries. And this is what she does. She travels around the world. She digs wells. She builds eco-communities, builds tiny homes for underserved communities. And she builds schools. And it's actually really cool. And so I went with her to go do that.
How'd she know you? You already knew her?
I met her when I was 14. And I remember her speaking at the church I was at. And I remember thinking, gosh, I want to do that. You know? And the fact that, almost 30 years later, here she is calling me.
Now, you hadn't talked to her any time since?
I ran into her again.
That's crazy.
When I was, this was in 24. In 2020, I ran into her. Mm-hmm. She came to the church that I go to. Okay. And spoke. And I was like, oh my gosh, Dr. Bailey, how are you?
She remember you?
Yeah. She didn't remember me. Yeah. I was like, but I remember you. Because
she meets a lot of people.
When you engage with people, someone that affects your life, that plants a seed in you, you're like, I remember you. Yeah. Because I remember sitting there as a young teenage boy watching you and listening to you speak and thinking in my heart, this is something I want to do. And so we reconnected in 2020, and I didn't really hear from her. And then one day she just calls me.
Right when you were looking for a sign.
Right when it was exactly.
Yeah.
And so I wound up in South Africa.
So that was sort of given to you, right?
Given to me.
Yeah, that was not something
And then from there, I wound up, she does a thing called Jamaica for Jesus, where she takes teenagers and takes them to the middle of Jamaica and says, we're going up into the mountains, and we're going to visit these orphanages, and we're going to visit these foster homes, and we're going to visit these single mothers, and we're going to do this. And so then I went there and did that. And then I wound up in Kenya.
So what do you call what you're doing? Is it like being a missionary? Or?
Yeah.
So are you preaching the word while you go? Or
sometimes I do, okay. And then sometimes I'm just there to be hands. Yeah.
Now, Africa, that's a dangerous place to do what you're doing.
Listen.
Yeah, I don't have to tell you.
Listen.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't hear this story.
A lot of people don't hear this stuff.
Yeah, because Africa's a long way away, and nobody really tells these stories. But I've read some things.
It's not the West.
Well, tell us about.
It's not the West.
Tell us.
So before she called me, before I was going to go to South Africa, I had planned to go to Uganda.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going, whatever. And a friend of mine had booked me a hotel. And we had paid for the room and everything. And the room that we booked, an American businessman had gone to Uganda, picked up a prostitute, and she killed him.
In that room?
In that room.
Oh, and when you had some bad luck, man.
And my friend Esther will attest to this. Ooh. Esther, if you ever see this, you know what I'm talking about. She sent me. The whole room was covered, and apparently he caught her trying to take his wallet or get cash out of his wallet. Tried to stop her, takes a knife, and she just starts stabbing him. The whole bed was covered in blood. The walls were covered in blood. The door going all the way down the stairs, all of it covered in blood. So I was like, I don't care. I'm going anyway.
So did you ever stay in that room?
No.
No, you never even saw the room, but
no,
she knew
never.
that. How'd she know that was your room? Going to be your room?
Well, because my friend Esther we had actually talked about it. Yeah. Had booked that specific room.
Oh, that's
this
crazy.
room is booked for you.
Yeah.
And had already paid for it and everything. But I'm not staying in the murder room. What is this, Red Rum?
Yeah.
What is this?
What is that?
You know what happened to me? The Overlook Hotel? No, thank you.
I was going to rent a house once up on Lookout in L.A. Mm-hmm. And this was And I went to rent it, and the lady said, well, and it had been a while. It was after the John Holmes murder.
Ooh.
It was the house.
Oh.
It was the house. I didn't. She said, well, the carpets are messed up. I said, I don't mind.
The carpets
then I checked the address. I'm like, dude, that's where the people were all bludgeoned.
Slaughtered.
Like 4 people were slaughtered. Same thing. Now, so I said, well, I'm no longer interested. But how did you get out of that hotel then? You just didn't go there.
I just didn't go. I didn't go, and really, I wound up my trip. I wound up going to South Africa because I was gonna go to Uganda, and then hop a flight down to South Africa, and then fly back to Uganda because my flight was booked. I'd already booked the flights, So I wound up paying for the Uganda flight because don't ever buy anything from Priceline, ever, ever.
Not good.
Not good. Well, and so I wound up doing that. And so I try to get to a different country every year if I can. Last year I did Jamaica and Kenya.
Is it all through the doctors, or are you doing it yourself?
Kenya was myself.
Yeah,
Kenya was just me.
How do you set that up? I mean, how do you?
Thankfully, you just connect with people.
Yeah.
Everything, just like in Hollywood, everything is relationships.
Who you know, yeah.
Who you know. And so Kenya in November, a gentleman that was, when I was 15, I went to seminary, and I was going to seminary, and the gentleman, his name is George Oundo, and he was he taught me Bible survey and church history when I was 15, and I got a text message from him one day out of nowhere, just out of nowhere, and it was about this conference he was doing in Kenya, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. And he's like, would you like to come and join us? Sure. So they've got a whole compound out there, acres and acres and acres of land.
In Kenya, yeah.
And we go out there, and there's supposed to be a whole group of people going. I get there, it's just me. It's just me.
You can roll with the punches.
I can roll with the punches, baby. I can roll with the punches. And they gave me, they said, well, we want you to deal with the youth. I love teenagers, young people, And so they gave me like 50 teenagers to just teach and talk to. And really, I just wanted to learn about them, learn what their goals were, their dreams were, their hopes. And these kids, Paul, these kids want to be astronauts. What American kid do you know who wants to be an astronaut?
Yeah, not for a while. Maybe.
Not for a while. Maybe back in the 60s.
Well, maybe now with the new thing they just did, people are getting more,
actually showing
Artemis,
Artemis, and seeing how that. Oh, this is actually.
But that's great. They want to be. Well, what do they think of you, and what do they think of America? Like, what do they know about America? And like I love the United States, and I've traveled, and it's the best place, because you've traveled enough. It's the best place on the planet, and we're lucky to live here. And so many people here forget that, and they just, they piss on the country, and it's like, they clearly haven't traveled.
You clearly have not been anywhere else in the world.
And like, well, it's not really free. Oh, yeah, it is. Talk about the president in a country.
Anywhere else.
Yeah, they'll kill you. They'll kill you or torture you. But tell me about Africa and what's going on there, because there's you explained what's going on there.
So this was actually my second time going. I went in 2019.
Yeah.
And I wound up actually in Nairobi. This time I went to Kisumu, which is over by Lake Victoria, and we went up through Soweto is in South Africa. Siaya is the town that I wound up going to, which is really close to where Barack Obama's father lives.
Yeah.
And that's funny. There's a whole sign that says, you drive by it, this is where the family of Barack Obama lives.
Right.
It's funny.
It's big news, right?
It's big news. It's out there. It's big news. And you're driving and you see that the distinction from Nairobi, Kenya, to Kisumu and Siaya, it's night and day.
Yeah.
These are not paved roads. And you're like, why is there? It's like industrialization never hit that place.
Yeah.
And they've got homes and this, that. It's really interesting to watch the brick masons work on the homes. They're out there chopping brick by hand.
So they make the brick right there.
Making the brick by hand.
Yeah.
Making the cement by hand. But there's no roads. It's just a dirt pavement. Just dirt. Flattened dirt. Like, why? And I remember I'm in the car with the pastor who's driving me, and Kisumu is right on Lake Victoria, and then there are these tributaries that go out through it. So you're driving and you see the tributaries that come past Lake Victoria. And I was asking him about politics and about, did you vote in the last election? I heard you voted. And he started telling me about, well, everybody voted for the same guy because they came out here and were killing people.
So that's who you're going to vote for.
What? That's who you're going to vote for?
Yeah.
And he said, this river here, it was, there were dead bodies floating in the water. Dead bodies? Huh. Yes. They come, the government people say, you are going to vote this way, or you don't. And then if you don't, they kill you. And then the rest of your family votes. They go to the next person. Your father says, no, I'm not voting. They kill him. Then they go to will you vote? Yes, I'll vote.
Yeah.
Democracy at its best.
So, yeah, I mean, how many countries in Africa actually have a democratic republic like
democratic,
that? I don't think
even Congo is called the Democratic Republic of Congo.
Well, everyone uses the name now. The Democratic Republic of Korea.
Right.
Yeah, everyone uses it, but we have the real deal. But the people that aren't under the politicians they're running it and they're
running it.
Yeah, they're making the money and everything. But do the people, do they secretly ask you like what? Because is there a
I had like 6 marriage proposals.
Yeah. So the dream of America has spread to everybody knows it. That's
because
why
everybody's got a phone.
Yeah, everybody
and
comes.
They can all see it.
Yeah, everybody comes here. Like everyone says, "Oh, America's terrible," but they're not all trying to get into China.
No,
they're not trying, and China won't let anybody in unless you're Chinese.
Right, you're not getting in there anyway.
Yeah, and I don't know. And then you say here, well, we want to slow down immigration. Oh, you're a racist. Well, I mean, the world is so weird right now. But there's also like you're basically a Christian missionary there, right?
Yeah.
Which, tell me if I'm wrong, but aren't like the Muslims killing Christians like wholesale in many countries?
If you were to watch the news, and you would hear, oh, well, we're a religion of peace, and there are many peaceful Muslims. Yeah. But Islam is not a religion of peace. If one of your main tenets of your faith is fight the infidel until they either convert or you subjugate them so that they pay a tax to you or kill them. Those are the options.
But you've seen it there, right?
I see it.
Were you not in danger yourself?
Yeah. Because, well, don't go over there and preach. You don't want to go over there and preach.
Have you been to Nigeria? Because that's really going crazy there.
I haven't been to Nigeria. So far, I've been to South Africa, Kenya. I did wind up getting to Uganda, Belgium. My actually strongest encounter with a Muslim evangelist or apologist was in Belgium. And he and I were for about an hour and a half just going at it. Just now, it was a verbal.
Right.
And I had to pull away and say, you know what, Muhammad, God bless you. We've been at this for an hour.
Yeah.
And there's just, we're not going to meet the same impasse.
Yeah.
We're at an impasse, and there's no reason to keep arguing with each other.
What's happening in these countries? I mean, I know that the United States is starting to get involved down in they're starting to do things.
Because it's necessary.
Yeah.
But it's because, again, everyone has a phone. You can see everything happening everywhere.
Because they're killing, like, murdering and kidnapping
by the droves. But there was years ago, you might remember that there was a school bus full of just young Christian girls from a Christian school who were kidnapped.
Yeah.
And nobody really cared anything about it.
Yeah, you don't hear it. The story doesn't get much press in the West.
Yeah.
Because I've noticed people don't care what happens in Africa.
Because it's Africa.
Yeah, people say, "Oh, it's Africa."
And it's like, the hard part about it is if Africa just said, we're not giving any more of our minerals. We're not giving any more. Burkina Faso was like, no, France, leave. We don't want you here. If Africa just stopped saying no more diamonds, no more gold, no more platinum, no more copper, the world would shut down.
But that won't happen because most African countries have a strong man, and they're just reaping the money.
They're just reaping the money.
So they'll.
It's like, we'll put you in as president, and you've got millions and millions. You don't live there. Yeah. You live in London,
right?
Or you got a home in New York, or you've got a home in Paris. You don't live there.
So, and there aren't many revolutions there because it's harder to mobilize. And also, isn't it it's a tribal basis? It's not like
it's extremely tribal.
Because a lot of people want to export American democracy, which you can never do that. This has been centuries and thousands of years of one tribe hate. Like in Uganda, what was it? The Hutu and the they hate each other still.
And so you have to.
How do you get?
In order to
fix
build
that?
a nation, you have to take these warring tribes.
Yeah.
And say we're all going to come together under one banner. But the problem with that is everybody wants to be the leader.
Right.
And so it's like crabs in a barrel.
Yeah.
You know, that each one is just fighting over each other to try to get to the top. Whereas we have issues in America, but there is a set thing. We're all Americans.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Right. That's it.
You're not going to come here and say, well, we're going to put up a Democratic Republic of, I don't know, Belgium or something. I don't know. And we're all Americans.
Yeah. That's the strength.
And because you're under one banner, that's what gives you strength. E pluribus unum.
Yeah.
Out of the many, one. But to try to take that to a culture that is still extremely tribal,
Yeah.
it's very difficult to
Do you
do
think
that.
America only worked because we came to a place where, like, they escaped Europe?
America, I think, only worked because, first, I will say unequivocally, because of the blessing of God.
Yeah. Of course.
This is an experiment.
Yeah.
And any historian will tell you that this is an experiment.
But a damn good one.
A damn good one.
We just passed
because
250 years.
It's continued to work.
Yeah.
And why has it
And-
continued to work?
But the whole world looks at it, and even the enemies are fascinated with America. We are pretty cool.
We're pretty
and
cool.
And it's not about that we're like this, like you say, we're not this one tribe.
Right.
It's like everybody that came here. Now, of course, you got to get into what the Native Americans and
Yeah,
they
the
had
Native Americans and the
yeah.
slavery
But
and all that.
now it's
but
like it does work where we're stronger when people come from.
when people come from other places,
And
it's
then-
like
but
growing
then-
a DNA chain line.
But then you have to come here and want to be an American. You can't come here and say, "Well, I'm not going to be an American. I piss on your." That ruins the whole thing.
you have people who do that.
I know, but they hopefully they'll get shunned aside.
Get with the program.
Because that's how it works. And I wonder why people don't in other places see we can do this. We can rise up, because that was a big gamble to rise up against
It's a huge gamble.
the United England. That was the biggest power in the world back
Yeah,
then.
it's a
It was
huge
like
gamble.
on paper, oh, this isn't going to work, but it worked. And look what's happened. I mean, I don't know. I mean, what's your favorite thing about America?
I like a lot of things about it. It's so funny because I used to be one of those people who was like, oh, America. And then I got out.
Then you
in the world
traveled.
more. And I
Yeah,
was like,
right.
take me back.
Yeah, take me back.
Home.
Yeah.
And we see with the World Cup being here,
Yeah.
that the Europeans are like, oh, this isn't as bad as we thought it was.
Some of them are even saying it too.
Right. They're like, well, people traveling and they're taking ranch dressing home with them. And the
Right.
TSA is stopping them. You can't take ranch dressing home with you. But I really, and it sounds cliche, but I do like the freedom that we have.
It is.
Now,
It is.
if you want to go online and you want to say F the president,
Yeah.
you can say that. You probably shouldn't, but you can.
Yeah.
If you want to go online and burn the American flag,
You can.
you can. You shouldn't.
No.
But that is your right,
Right.
to do that.
Yeah.
And you are welcome to do that. You can't do that
Anywhere.
anywhere else in the world.
Even-
and that's something that
But-
with people coming into the country who don't think like that,
Yeah.
you risk losing that.
Right.
It's dangerous.
Yeah.
The issue with democracy, I think, is that you accept everybody, and then you wind up accepting the weird, then you wind up accepting the profane, and then all of a sudden your democracy fails because there are no limits to what you accept.
Yeah.
So I think we have to learn to keep our culture the way. If you're going to come, then you need to learn how to meld into the culture.
Right.
If I'm going to move to London, I need to learn to meld into the English culture.
Have you been to London lately?
I hadn't been to London
Yeah,
lately. I
okay,
did
yeah.
grow. I did grow up
Yeah.
in a place called Ipswich. in
Okay,
Suffolk,
so you know
in
the UK.
Yeah.
Now, this brings us to immigration, and I'm all for immigration, but too much is too much at once. It's like a recipe. If you throw in too much stock, well, it's going to overdo. So I don't know. This whole thing that was going on a couple of years ago was just so many people flying in. It's not cool. It's like, and in the old days, I don't know. I don't know. So what do you think is going to happen with everything? I mean,
The human body doesn't allow everything in, because if the human body let everything in, you get sick.
yeah.
And the way I look at it is, I'm going to get biblical here. Daniel, the book of Daniel, has a prophecy about the end of the world, the end of the age, and how there are these feet and their governments, but they're made of iron and miry clay, showing that they're unstable. Instability comes when you have a country like America, but then you have different groups who come in and want to have their own country in America. You can't have that because that's a mixing. It's oil and water. It doesn't mix. It all has to be one thing. I believe in immigration. America was built on immigration. But if you've got a record of blowing stuff up in your country, nope, you're not coming here.
Yeah, guess
Canada,
what?
you can't just you cannot go to immigrate to Canada. My understanding is unless you can prove that you're going to be a benefit to the society,
right?
That you've got an income coming in, that you're not going to be a drain on the resources. But we're just like, yeah, come in, we'll give you. We'll give you welfare and we'll give you this and we'll give you loans and this, that, and the other. But the people who live here, hey, I want to get a business loan. Sorry, can't do that. Well, why not? Why'd you give it to the person who just got here 6 months ago? Because maybe you wanted to stabilize the country? That sounds like a conspiracy theory. It may be. I don't know.
Yeah.
But immigration is necessary for any country, for any culture. Just like if you keep the same bloodline for too long and you intermix with that bloodline, you wind up having genetic defects. Same thing here.
Well, you look at China; they don't allow anyone.
They don't allow anybody in.
You can't. You can't even drive a car in China.
I couldn't go over there and buy land. They can come over here and buy.
I don't know. That's part of what they take advantage of is our freedom. But
did you read recently? Was it a mayor? One of the mayors in California was a Chinese agent. Did you read that?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah. How did that happen?
Yeah, I don't know.
This isn't the Cold War. How did that happen?
Well, the Chinese they have spy stuff all over. They
all
have
over the place.
They have police stations in cities, and the Chinese. This is the thing about America, and there'll probably be someone will watch this from China, and I don't care. They play the long game. They want to bust us down.
That's what it's about. It's
they do it, and they're not good people.
It's the long game,
and it's not the people. It's the Chinese Communist Party.
It's the government.
The people. I'm sure I love all Chinese people, but what they're doing. I mean, the Uyghurs, the Muslim people, they're all in camp. You talk about concentration camp. Have you seen their concentration camps?
Oh yeah.
They have walls.
Because you're not going to come here and run things.
Where in China?
And they understand.
Oh yeah.
Particularly with an Islamic regime. We know how you function because history shows us.
They put them all in camps.
Y'all are going to stay over there.
Well, they're in camps.
Yeah, you're in camps because you're not going to come here and take over.
Yeah, they're not. But how did they even get there in the first place? Because they don't allow anybody in. Well, I guess they were part of China in a certain geographic spot, so they're part of China now. But I don't know. It's like, will everyone ever get along? The more I get, the older I get, the more I believe in the stories of the Bible.
Yeah.
I mean. And I'm sure people will laugh at me, but because it's a lot of people laugh at Christianity, and I don't mind saying I'm a Christian. I mean, I wasn't always. I was brought up one, and then I didn't. I was young, and I thought I was just.
Yeah, you went your way,
so
and then you came back.
I was so pretty.
So pretty.
I was an actor, and I was so handsome, and everybody liked me. But as you get older, and a lot of young people say, "Well, you say that because you're going to die." Well, we're all going to die. That's part of it. But that's not the reason. I got wise, and I started to look at life, and once you look at things, I don't know. I mean, it all became quite apparent. And then once you start to actually pray, well, things happen.
Wisdom is, as Solomon says, wisdom is the principal thing.
Yeah.
And when I was a child, I thought like a child. I spoke like a child.
Yeah.
But when I became a man,
right.
When I grew up, I put away childish things, which is why they say when men are younger, they may be Democrats, but when they get older, they tend to become more conservative because, wait a minute, what? When I start thinking, you're not just going to let anybody into this house.
Yeah,
this is my house. I'm not just going to. And if I do, we've known each other for years. I'm not just going to walk to your fridge. It's your house.
Well, you can.
Yeah. Well, I know, but we've known each other for years and we're pals. But there's just a mutual respect there.
Yeah.
And as we get older, we start to think more, hey, how do we sustain this? How do we keep this?
Yeah.
How do we continue to build this? Did you hear about the Trump accounts thing?
What?
That he's it just passed, and I wish it was for older people, but it's not. I think it's anybody born 2024 and to later. The government is giving them $1,000 account. That's like an IRA.
Really?
They're seeding it.
Is that real?
That's real.
So every little kid born has their own IRA.
They have the option.
And they get to cash it in when? Not at 2.
Not at 2, but
right. When they get to be adults.
The idea is to where like you have the greatest generation.
Yeah.
You know, there's all this wealth.
Right.
That not all of them have, but many of them have. I know my grandmother, she sold a house for like $900,000. Yeah. And I'm like, hey, Grandma, what's going on with some of that?
Yeah.
And she's like in her 80s. She's like, that's my money.
Yeah.
But you got like 5 grandkids you could give that to. That you could, I mean, let's be honest. You're probably not going to be here another 20 years.
Yeah.
You're probably not. And so that idea is that these kids, maybe when they're 20 or maybe when they're 50, that they'll have something, that they'll have an
that's a nice thing.
investment in the country.
Anyone hear about that? I mean,
it just happened.
So it does for any kid born here?
Any kid born, and that's probably why they were trying to say, hold on, birthright citizenship, because that means you can come over here and have
get
a
$1,000
child and set that child up almost for life. Yeah, and then just keep investing in that account.
Yeah.
You can invest up to $5,000 in the account yourself. And that money will just grow and grow and grow.
Well, wasn't the birthright thing, that was done for slavery, right? So
the birthright thing was done for slavery.
Yeah. So now it's like everyone's running to America to have a baby. So it's like I don't know how I think about that. It's fine if you're born here. I get the reason. It's the same as, we always say on this show we won't talk about politics and everything, but no one knows what I am. I mean, I'll say it right. I'm an independent.
Yeah.
I vote what makes sense.
I vote what makes sense.
Yeah. I don't.
Does this make sense?
Yeah. So I don't go, and then someone's going to be mad at me. Because everyone gets mad now.
Someone's going to be mad.
I don't really care, and I'm not, because I'm not, I'm an independent American. And
I'm not here to hate you.
Yeah. But I don't even know what I was trying to say. But I don't know. The people just come in here to have a baby, and then I'm an American. It doesn't sound right.
But then if you come here, have the baby, then the baby's a citizen. But you came here illegally. Well, we can't deport you because you're the parents.
Yeah, exactly. So isn't
isn't
everyone trying to
deport everybody?
Yeah.
But you can't keep feeding the world.
Right.
Because then I can't feed everybody. I want to make sure that you're taken care of. But if it's gonna cause a problem for me, I need to take care of myself.
Well, they used to have like Kennedy had when he sent those people. What were the people he used to send out? The job, not the Corps, something Corps, the Peace Corps.
Peace Corps.
It would seem like, since everybody loves America, why don't we show people how to do it, rather than
that's the idea.
Yeah, wouldn't that be cool?
But I think because the world itself is a giant corporation.
Yeah.
And people are like, well, America comes in here and they do horrible things to us. It sucks, but that's business.
Yeah.
It sucks, but that's business.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, most places we go, we don't. I mean, I know we have a history of all kinds of shenanigans here and there.
Right. And it's just because America's the big boy in the pond.
Yeah. Right.
I was doing some studying, and I found out that before World War II, America was not the big boy in the pond. Actually, before World War I, Germany was the big boy.
Yeah, well, of course. That's why we had World War I.
Germany was the big boy.
That's why we had World War I.
And then once everybody was like, screw you, Germany.
Yeah.
And then America was like, hey, we're on the other side of the planet.
Yeah, we don't care.
Let's make everything trade in American dollars.
Yeah.
And then America becomes the big boy. So now, of course, everybody's going to try to go after the big kid because you're the big boy. It seems like you're the bully. But the truth is, Western civilization has changed the world for the better.
Right.
If the world were not based on Western civilization, I don't want to think what the world would be like. That'd actually be a good short story.
There he goes, creating again.
I'm like, ooh.
Well, get you a pen and paper.
Right. But just if all the things that would have if there were no America, if World War II wound up different.
Yeah. Or the Civil War ended up
different.
Yeah.
Different.
I have
what happened?
Yeah.
Revolutionary War, if it ends up different.
What happened?
There's a great, I know it was a book, but I didn't read the book. I only saw this TV show, The Man in the High Castle.
Sure, yeah.
And it kind of paints a picture of what would have, if it were the other way around,
Right.
what would have happened.
Yeah.
This would be the fatherland.
Yeah. There'd be no Jewish delicatessens.
There'd be no Jewish people.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people think that never happened. You know, when I grew up in New York City, and I'm old enough, I saw a lot of Jewish people. They had the tattoo.
The tattoos, yeah.
I mean, they were everywhere, and I just was totally amazed. I've lived long enough. I knew soldiers that were German that fought and I knew and then like Patty's dad fought, and he got shot in the head in Belgium. My dad was in the occupation of Japan.
Which tells you how short cultural memory really is. Yeah. That something that gruesome can happen, and we don't think it happened. But there are also people who still think the earth is flat. So,
it's not? Oh, yeah.
No.
Well, yeah, and I remember growing up then, like New York had a real step because they had just won this war, and everyone was very confident, and now it's like people don't even remember. Well, I don't even know what they're teaching in the schools, the history. Nobody knows. They don't remember World War II or Vietnam.
These people can't read, Paul.
Yeah.
They can't read.
And what's going on with that?
There are videos where they show people, they'll hand somebody a card and say, read this. And
now people can't, they don't write.
They don't write anymore.
No cursive. And I find that because soon everyone's going to be just this, and then that'll go to just thinking. But that's the progress. I mean,
it makes me think, remember the movie The Matrix?
Yeah.
And Agent Smith says, we redesigned it to this, the height of your civilization.
Yeah.
I say your civilization because the moment we started thinking for you, it quickly became our civilization, which is, of course, what this is all about.
Yeah.
I remember remember The Outer Limits?
Sure. Great show.
And so they did a revamp
Scared
of it.
the hell out of me when I was a kid.
Right?
Yeah.
But they did a revamp of it in the 90s.
It didn't
there was
play.
an episode about how the culture, everybody had these implants in their head.
Yeah.
And they were all connected to this computer system. And so nobody had to learn anything. Once they were a certain age, this implant was put in. You learned to walk. You learned to talk. The computer did it all for you. Doctors never had to go to school. They just...
Sound familiar?
The system just did it for you. But then the system got corrupted. And some sort of virus got in it because some rust or something like that. And all of a sudden, all these people started going crazy and dying. And there was one guy who had an accident, so he couldn't get his implant.
Yeah, I remember
so he was
that.
considered stupid, and he had to learn to read. He had to learn to write. But then once the machine got shut down, nobody knew how to do anything. And that makes me think about the movie WALL-E, where the humans are up in space and the computer's doing everything. Everybody's fat and lazy, and the computer they just want a smoothie. It's a dangerous game.
Well, now you've got AI coming, and who knows how that's going to all work out, because that could I saw Terminator.
Listen, I've seen this movie before.
Yeah, right.
And it works out the same way.
Yeah, it works out
every time.
Yeah.
Every time the machines win.
Yeah.
And we're just giving it to them.
Yeah. Well, now it's like you were just working on a project, and you just showed it to me, and it's the animation was
I think of it this way. AI is without man, as man is without God.
Yeah.
God is he's the mover. AI does nothing without, it's not just sitting there doing things on its own. Unless you put it in an environment and you program it to do that.
But could it break out of that and start? Nobody knows.
It could.
Yeah, nobody knows.
So Anthropic did an experiment with their highest level product, and it wound up blackmailing the CEO of a company. But it was all created, right? But just to show that if in the right environment,
it could happen.
It could happen. So the question is, what do we do with Skynet? How far do we let Skynet go? In every iteration of this story, we find that the system becomes sentient. Yeah. We don't know how it becomes sentient. It's like Ultron. He's like, the only way to save the world is to kill all the humans.
Right.
You guys are the problem, which tells us we know we're the problem. But we lack any agency to do anything about it. Yeah, you eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, but you have no authority over good and evil. You can't control it. It's Pandora's box.
You're scaring me.
Out there now. It's out there now.
You're scaring me. I want to make a Western.
I use, and I'm still learning how to use this AI video thing.
Yeah.
It's an amazing tool.
Can we show some of what you made?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, okay,
absolutely.
We'll show it. And this goes back to your character in Cowboy Zombies.
In Cowboy Zombies, yeah.
So you, on your own, went off and developed this whole...
Yeah, so
I've
always loved... And you've got this picture over here of us on the... whatever this thing here on the train track is called, the pedal car.
Yeah, yeah.
The pedal car. It was a great scene. I was like, the flywheel's busted. It was great.
Yeah, it was fun.
And when I wrote when you cast me and I wrote the backstory for that character, I also wrote a forward story. And I was always thinking about what in this world where these zombies have come to life and they're eating people, what else happens?
Yeah.
What if there are other monsters? What if there's this rift in the space-time continuum between dimensions and demons and monsters and stuff are all coming through? And this guy, he's just a Buffalo Soldier, and he has to fight. He has to stand in the gap and be that watchman and be that fighter.
And what do you want to do? Sell this as a book, or
so I wrote it. It's written as a trilogy.
Yeah.
So the first book is done. It's called Monster Mesa.
And I read part of it. You know, recently. It's really good. When are you going to publish? Are you going to self-publish?
Monster Mesa will be released. The first book will be released next month.
Because you know what's great is, in the old days, you'd have to go and like you would in Hollywood, you'd have to find an agent who'd send it to the publisher. Yeah. But now, with social media you can print it yourself.
Do it yourself.
Do it yourself.
And that's the hard part. That's why the powers that be, the gatekeepers, are really frustrated about this technology, because they've been keeping things a certain way for so long.
Right.
That, well, you can't. No, you can't do that. Well, you can't do that.
This is on YouTube.
Right.
And I must say, I didn't get YouTube right away. I thought it was a bunch of kids playing games.
And
then I realized that, hey, this is cool. So now I have a chat. You know, I have a little channel. And people watch it. And in the old days, I couldn't have done that.
You'd never be able to do that.
You know, and we're making our films, and we become our own distributor. We used to have distributors. Now we do it.
Right.
And we get paid better. They didn't pay it. We had to sue quite a couple of them. And that's the thing about now. Everyone can have a page.
Everyone.
But the deal is now you have to get people to your page,
right?
Whether it be a movie, a book, a podcast, whatever it is. So that's the thing. That's the hard thing to do now, is break through, because everybody's being bombarded with so much stuff all day long.
With the different systems, you can take ChatGPT, connect it to your YouTube, and tell it to study the analytics of pages like yours and films like yours, and it will show you how to work the algorithm so your stuff can get to the
right
people you need to get it to.
But then even on Facebook now, they're starting. I heard they were starting to. They want you to buy the ad, so they don't share it.
Right.
But YouTube's cool because anyone can go. Everyone's on YouTube.
Everyone's on YouTube.
Yeah, and the kids, like when I grew up, there was NBC, CBS, and ABC,
and it went off at night.
Yeah, well, I remember it went off like about 12 o'clock, and
you're just up watching TV.
And it was just yeah, that was it. And then they got PBS that came for, and now it's
which is
gone. But I mean, everything was there. That's all there was. And then I remember when I was in my 30s, I had a camera, a video camera. No one was doing. We did this motorcycle show, and I had a motorcycle on my bike. I mean, a camera on my bike. Yeah. No one had there were no GoPros. We used to get cameras and put them on with tape
and duct tape
and stuff. So I was like an oddity. And then it was just fun. But now everyone has the tools and the wherewithal to get it distributed globally. So it's the trick is to break through all the stuff that's hitting you all day.
And that's the trick.
Yeah, it's the trick.
You can post something online, and you'll have kids in France or Germany or Spain or Dubai, whatever, watching it.
Yeah.
Because the algorithm just kind of connects to different people for different things.
We put this movie, Run for the High Country, up. It had been distributed years ago. Mm-hmm. It went out years ago.
I remember that.
And I put it up before this channel became this channel that it is now, American Stories. It was Winter's Film Group. And I put it up, since part of my deal was I was allowed to put on my own little channel. I put it up, and in a week, 500,000 people watched it.
Yeah.
I mean, 500,000.
And you're like, how'd that happen?
Yeah, and they all started writing me, like, and they all loved it, and they were from like, you know, all over. They were in China, they were in India, and most of the people really liked it. Because as you know, when you're an artist, critics, and everyone's a critic, so it's hard.
Everybody's a critic.
So, you know, some people say, "Oh, he was terrible," and then other people would love the story so much and say that it made them cry. But it's so weird because it's like that story of the blind man and the elephants.
Right.
You know, it's like, oh, I loved the elephant here, or it was a great story. No, it was an asshole. It was,
right.
It was
was
like, so you don't know what you are, you know, but you just do the work and
you do the work, and there's always an audience for what you do.
Yeah.
And so I've been able to take all this stuff that's in my head,
yeah,
and get it out. So I've got a kids book series coming out,
yeah,
called Victor Virtue.
You have any pictures of that?
Yeah.
Well, we'll put up the whatever you want, because we're a big supporter of you, and then you'll let us know when it's.
Victor is releasing. Actually, Victor's is coming out on the 12th. Actually.
Now, are you printing books or is it all
so
digital?
this one will go through Amazon.
Okay. So they can buy a book
so
or
people
download.
can buy it or download it.
Oh yeah, and we'll put that information on that. Now, what is this story?
So Victor Virtue is about it's a 5-year-old boy. He's sort of my Dora the Explorer. Is he you?
He's
me when I was 5.
Right.
And what I based him off of is when you read the Bible, you find Samuel.
Yeah.
And Samuel hears from God for the first time as a little boy. And so Victor hears from God for the first time as a little boy, and he doesn't know what he's hearing. He thinks it's his mom. He thinks it's his dad. He thinks it's his sister. And this star comes in, and the star starts talking to him, and just, hey, you know, the Bible talks about the still small voice. Yeah. And that's what it is. The star's just talking to him, saying, hey, Victor, do this good thing. Don't do that thing. Sort of like a Jiminy Cricket sort of thing. Victor Virtue, where is it?
Oh, we'll put it up for you.
I'll send it to you, but just so you can see it, this is...
Let's see him.
It's called Victor Virtue and the Secret Whisper.
Okay.
And so I was, as a kid, I was always in love with a writer named Audrey Wood, who did a book called Hecate Peg.
I think I remember that book.
I loved the artwork in it, and I loved the story. I always loved Audrey Wood's work.
Oh, is that her? That's her, or is that your kid?
So that's my character.
Oh, I love him.
And so he's just got a whole series of stories of books that I'm going to write for him for kids.
He's cute. Look at him.
And he's just a playful kid.
I can remember days like this.
Yeah, just playful, don't care about life, just being a kid.
And until you find out
until the curveballs hit you. Until the balls hit you.
Yeah, until the balls hit you.
So that's the first book on that is dropping on the 12th. And then I'm
the 12th of what?
Of this month. Of this month. Yeah.
Of July?
Yeah, a couple days.
Wow, that's right away.
Right away.
Yeah.
And but I wrote it like a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
You know, and then but since then I've gotten divorced, and I've moved to another country or another city, and then moved back and all that stuff.
Where did you move to?
Moved to Chicago.
Moved
to Chicago.
Is that where you're from, or
no?
You just moved to Chicago.
My job was there. My job is there, and so the place I work, their main office is there.
Where were you born?
I was born in New Orleans.
New Orleans.
We started coming out in Fort Polk in Alexandria, and then they had to fly my mother to New Orleans to get us out. So something like that.
Guess out of what?
Out of my mother.
Oh.
Yeah. There were two of us, and she was a small lady.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
I didn't know if you were scared.
Get us out of where?
Yeah,
of Alexandria.
I get it. Yeah.
And so, so I was born there, but my family is in Southern Illinois, East St. Louis, Belleville, Cahokia, what have you. And so the fact that the job I currently work is in the northwest suburbs of Chicago, it makes it was convenient. And I went full time with the company. I was like, I'm not really acting anymore. I'm writing. I'll go full time with the company, this, that, and the other. But the cold, Paul, I am a desert flower.
Yeah.
And the cold and I do not agree with one another. Okay, you ever see the movie Cool Runnings?
Yeah.
When Sanka's like, cold, I'm freezing my royal Rastafarian knee-knees off. Nope. But also the snow, the cold depresses me.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if other people suffer with that, but being locked inside the house for days on end, months on end, and then Groundhog's Day came, and I was like, oh, yay, the groundhog, he says it's,
nope.
And then someone said to me, well, don't forget about second winter. What do you mean second winter? Was that like second breakfast, just not as delicious? And they're like, yeah, because it could still snow. It was snowing in like April. What do you mean it's snowing in April? It's April. It's spring. The birds should be coming out.
So you moved back.
So I moved back.
Yeah.
I moved back. Moved back, and I'm still really. The funny thing is, you mentioned Rico and him working at a cafe, and you've worked at a cafe before.
Oh yeah, I did my share of waiting.
I always said, I do not want to be the actor that was a barista or a bartender.
That's all of us.
And you know what I'm doing?
Are you?
I am a traveling barista.
There you go.
I travel around the country. So like when you called me to do some movies, I'm like, bro, I'm on the road for the next couple of months making coffee.
But there's, in terms of a job, there's no bad job.
There's no bad job.
And also for actors, I don't know, you had to have a job where you could bust out of there,
Yeah.
And also, you were usually working at night. So I don't know. It worked for me, but I don't know. Back to LA, it's like they say it's a city. You wake up one day and you're 65. You don't know what happened.
You don't know what happened.
Yeah, because I remember when I moved there. I first went there in the 70s. I moved there in 1980, and when I first moved there, I didn't live in the crazy guy place where the guy. Luckily for me, yeah. But I rented these apartments in Hollywood, and they weren't very good. But I used to see these old women walking around, and they had the haircut from the 30s.
Yeah.
And they were leftover showgirls that had never made it.
They never made it.
But they still lived in these old, great bungalow apartments. Yeah. And they had I don't know what they call that hairdo, but it was
They just still had that look.
Yeah, well, they were, they had that haircut still. And then all of a sudden they all died, but they were peppered all around the neighborhood. Because you figure what it was, 30 to 50 to 80 is not that far.
No.
But I don't know. The neighborhood's sure changed since then. But
oh gosh,
yeah, I don't know. L.A. I love Los Angeles. It's a mess now. Have you been there lately?
It's a mess.
Why is that okay? That people are living like I don't know. I'm not a socialist or anything, but I think we should take care of people that have nowhere to live.
Let's
lift them up and get them on their way somewhere.
The scripture says that the homeless will always be with you. How do we show the love of God to people? If there aren't people to show that love to, there's always going to be somebody in need. Yeah. So we use our wisdom, our discernment, and we help people where we can. We do justice.
But you've been to LA lately. That's not happening.
That's not happening.
Yeah.
Because they don't care.
Well, also it's become.
It's all become Skid Row.
Well, but it's also become something else, and it's become the old. They give it a term now, unhoused. There are people making millions of dollars trying to find a solution. So they'll never find a solution because they're making the money.
It's a job.
It's a job.
It's like medicine.
Why would you close down your 501c3? They're looking for an answer. Well, the answer is you give them a place to live, and you see those that can be given a job, want a job, give them a job. Those that don't, because some of them are just nuts.
Some people are really
they're not savable.
I was in San Diego doing a show, and I wound up. There was a homeless guy.
Yeah.
And Paul, he was so bad. I mean, I don't know if he looked terrible, but his pants were torn so bad. You could see, he had no underwear on.
Yeah.
You could see all his stuff. I took my pants.
You gave him his pants?
And I went to give him my pants. And I got to him.
He didn't want them.
He ran away. So this is a man who's either demonically possessed.
Right.
Or is in a major psychological issue and needs to be taken off the street.
Yeah.
But if you take him off the street, then there's a problem. I think what happened is...
Well, you're not allowed to take him off the street.
Remember, years and years and years ago, Geraldo Rivera did a report on a medical facility in New York.
Yeah.
I forget the name of it. But
Bellevue.
Yeah. And it was a terrible place.
Well,
and then all of a sudden, I remember when I was a kid, there used to be, if you don't get help at charter, get help somewhere.
Yeah.
And they used to say, they'll call the men in white coats and they'll take you away.
They don't do that anymore.
But they don't do that anymore because of the fear of what it'll look like. Well, but gosh darn it, I don't want my kids, if I ever have any, growing up with naked men walking around and naked women walking around, filthy, nasty, dirty, disgusting, and crazy. I want to help you get them off the street.
But if you look at Philadelphia now or anywhere, like in the old days, the cops would come and just grab you, and they would take, like I grew up in New York City, so I knew about, you went to Bellevue. But there were crazy people all over New York, and that's why, but now to the extent you have the people doing the drugs and they're all leaned over. And,
have you been to San Francisco?
Yeah, I used to live there too, and I love that place. But here's the thing. Since when did it become up to the drug addict to say, well, you can't do anything because I don't want to? They should be snatched and taken to a hospital, rehabilitated. I mean, it's just disgusting what's happening. Like,
since when?
When did that happen? When did it become okay?
What was the saying? When did the nuts take over the nut house?
Well, I remember there was a moment, I don't know when it was in New York, but all of a sudden they let everyone out of Bellevue. It's like we don't have places like that, and we should, because some people are just plain crazy, and like you say, some people are possessed.
Some people are possessed, and some people just are really psychologically damaged. Some people it's because of drug use,
or all of them, all things at once.
And so, how do you fix it?
Yeah,
and it's easy to say. I would say, hey, see all these empty buildings, these empty malls. We used to have a mall here called Metro Center. It's knocked down. Right. They gutted it. Who knows what they're doing with it? You could have taken that, put money, and turned it into a whole facility, a transition facility, transitional housing, and get people off the street.
But they have to want to do it now.
They have to want it.
That's the problem.
But the thing is,
and you can't.
Who wants? If you're crazy,
or a drug addict, you have to stop using drugs, so they're not going to go.
Right.
So,
but you're not going to be on my street. You talked about Philly. I was in Philly doing an event, and I'm in my hotel room every night. I'm downtown by the convention center. Like, here's my hotel, here's the convention center, and there are these little alcoves that you walk under, and every night at 2 a.m, this person was just walking down the street screaming at the top, bloody. What the heck? I'm there for a week and a half. Every night. And they know, well, you just don't hang out down there. But this is downtown.
Yeah.
This is the place where people do their business. Why is that like that?
Well, tell me, do you have a reason why? Why is it?
Because we want it to be like that.
Who wants it, though?
Whether it be the powers that be or the culture.
Yeah.
That we just don't care.
Yeah.
And like you said, well, your 501c is given, $50 million this year. But then you go and you have your dinner and you have $500 a plate to raise more money, and the CEO of this 501c3 gets whatever they get, and then we got to pay all the people who are working for our 501c3, but nothing ever gets done.
Right. But someone needs the power to help them. And they need the power to snatch them. The men in the white suits need to come.
Right. Yeah. You know what it makes me think of? El Salvador.
Yeah.
The president of El Salvador. And how it was the worst place.
Yeah, I know.
And they just
put him
went
all in
there,
prisons.
and he said, you know what? We're going to put everybody,
just
pick everybody up.
Dude, you
I don't care what people think. But in America, we're like, we don't want to do that.
But no, you can't. We can't ever do that. But what we can, no, you can't. No. I like what they did down there, but you can only do that in El Salvador. What I'm talking about is people that are clearly, like, people that are criminals. They got to go through the system. You can't just snatch someone because they're in a gang. Can't.
But when it comes to people who are sick and on the street,
that's what I think.
This guy has clearly been walking around the street for the last 10 years. Everybody knows Mr. No Pants.
Yeah, that's
He's
different.
clearly crazy. We got to get him and help him.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. When in El Salvador, he went and grabbed criminals.
They got everybody.
And if we're dealing, and people in America, we have to go through the system. I agree with that. But when it comes to Mr. No Pants, the people over here, when you walk down the Tenderloin
the guy taking a shit on
why does that look like that? Because the powerful don't care enough to make a change, to clean the city up. You know these people. Why are you giving out crack pipes? Why are you giving out needles?
Yeah, why? Yeah.
Because if you can do that, then we can get these people, round them up.
Right.
It's so insensitive. No, it's insensitive that my children have to see that. I did a show in San Francisco, and there were about 6 girls with us. And we had to be at the convention center really early in the morning. And they booked us at a hotel down in the Tenderloin district. And then I got shit because I called Ubers.
Yeah.
Why would you do that? It's a 5-minute walk. because I'm not having these young ladies or anybody
walking through
through that.
Yeah.
No, it's unacceptable.
It's
Why
also
not
funny
fix it?
nowadays. Like I said before, I'm an independent because everything's so political now. But a lot of the stuff I think it's common sense. But if you say certain things that are common sense, you get called.
Oh no, you hurt somebody's feelings.
Well, you get called. They assume that you're on one side or the other. And I don't see it as a side. I mean, we're all Americans, and I've lived through presidents, and everybody hates Donald Trump, and they hated. But I remember Kennedy being president. That's how far back I go. So I went through, all of them, Nixon and Carter.
And so you remember that every president has those people that is like, we hate them.
Yeah, but Trump has it. I don't know. I don't want to get into all that. But what I root for any president who's there, because he's the one that's.
It's your ship, Captain.
Yeah, and it's not like this is a great country because he's as much as you don't like say you didn't like Biden. Well, a lot of people hated him, but he's gone, and Trump's going to be gone too. So, and the checks and balances we have, they say he's not going to be the king.
He's going to be
every American.
He's going to be president again.
No, he's not. That's and the beautiful thing about America is everybody has a gun. If some president decide, and people forget why. Oh, we're getting political, really, but I mean these are common sense. The great thing about America is the Second Amendment, the First and the Second.
You can have my gun.
Yeah, and
you apply it from my cold dead fingers.
I remember Biden talked about that, and he said it was about hunting, and it's not about hunting.
No,
the founding fathers didn't want the Brits to come in or anyone to take over,
because that's how you take over a country.
Of course,
if I take away your weapons, then you can't fight against me.
Exactly.
You can't
tell me
me.
the Jewish people in Poland wouldn't have liked a couple of
extra guns.
Yeah.
I'm allowed to defend myself.
Exactly.
Particularly against a government that would come in and take everything.
If you look at how civilian people died in the 20th century, they were killed by governments. In war,
Mao,
in
Stalin,
China, Stalin killed. Yeah, Pol Pot, Uganda, everywhere. But
it always makes me laugh that in the age of reason, the age of reason killed more people than the last 2,000 years combined.
Well, there's more people
because there's more people, but we're also more capable of just destroying each other.
Oh,
just more capable of destroying each other.
And like we sit here now, and there's like 20,000 nuclear missiles. Just ready to go. 15 minutes.
Why wouldn't we just get rid of all those? Well, mutually assured destruction.
Well, I'd like to get rid of them. I mean, we talk about all this other stuff, and boy, the number one thing is because someone's going to use it one day.
One day.
I mean, how is it possible that we're going to get through all this and some have gone missing?
Those scientists that all wound up dead.
Yeah,
it was like something out of a movie. What the heck?
Yeah,
Would you guys build some sort of device and now they had to kill all of you? What the heck happened?
How is it possible that we all get up and have a good day when all this stuff is going on? Because it's like, I got to pay my bill, but meanwhile there's a bunch of Russians and a bunch of North Koreans and then we have them pointed at them, and if we knew all those people, we'd probably like them.
That's a big thing. And so you use the media and you use cultural differences to keep people against one another.
Right.
You use skin color bias, which is so ridiculous. It's almost quaint to say, you should, this white man and this, that, and the other. I am a proponent for the acknowledgement of slavery and what it did to Africa and what it did to the world.
Yeah.
And how it affected the descendants of sub-Saharan African people. I'm one of them. But also, that's no reason for me to hate you.
Yeah, well, that was years ago.
That's stupid. There's no reason for me to hate you. It doesn't make any sense.
Let's focus on the people that are slaving people now.
Let's deal with the things it's happening now.
Yeah.
And so,
what do you think of reparations, though?
I agree with it.
Yeah.
I agree with it, and here's why.
But how would you figure it out? Like, what percentage? Who gets it? Okay, I'm only 4% black. Do they? At what point do you say, well, you're not black enough, or you're too white, or you're too Chinese? How do you figure that one out?
The hard part about the question is that it's been pushed down the road so long.
It's a long time ago.
That now it seems like it's a long time ago. But if you owe the bank for this condo,
you got to pay.
You're going to pay them. It doesn't matter. Well, that was this long ago. It doesn't matter. We want our money.
Well, I wasn't president of the bank then.
I wasn't president.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, doesn't
My mom
matter.
had a house, 51st Avenue in Thomas, and she always said that no, she paid the house off.
Yeah.
But at some point, and she had a copy of the deed.
Right.
But at some point, because of some records issue, the house got switched over to another mortgage lender.
Ooh.
And it was just bought up with a whole bunch of other leases, mortgages. And she's like, but I paid it. I've got a copy of the deed.
How'd she get out of that?
She didn't.
She had to pay again?
She didn't, yeah. They're like, well, you,
that's
according
a
to
terrible
us.
story.
And so it's when a debt is due, and I approach it from a biblical standpoint, God is about paying people what they owed.
Right.
When a debt is due, it's due. Frederick Douglass was not a proponent for reparations until he began studying on it. And he said, wait a minute. Every culture that has released their chattel slaves gave them something.
Right.
They gave them an education, or they gave them money,
right,
and they gave them land or something so that they could move on and develop. America didn't do that. In fact, they set the slaves free, and then they paid the slave owners, hey, for lost property.
Right.
That's a double slap in the face. That's a slap in the face.
Well,
and so if our Native American brothers and sisters got their reparations, they're still getting them. Israel gets reparations from Germany and America.
What are the Native Americans getting?
To get your the reservation land. Now, there's a lot of different things that go in that, but there were negotiations established because, hey, you did us wrong.
Yeah,
they did them wrong, and I think they're brilliant because then they started opening up casinos and taking the white man.
Well, that was on their own. But
that's brilliant.
I don't think they were ever paid anything by the government. Like I don't think each person, but it was some lawyer in Connecticut who figured this out. Said, hey, this is a gold mine. All the natives I know, they call it the second coming of the buffalo. It's a great thing. But I mean,
so I think that, but then it's more than just slavery, right?
Yeah.
Then you've got, right after slavery, you got Jim Crow.
Right.
After that, you have something else. After that, you have something else. And so when you take a culture, a group of people, and at every turn, even with the welfare situation, you pull the man out of the house.
Right.
And it goes back to, if you read the book, the Willie Lynch letters, and you see how they designed the programming.
Yeah.
You find, well, this was, and that the mindset was, if you do this now, they're going to perpetuate this for the next 200-300 years. This was done to you as a society, as a culture. When you take the highest echelon of the culture, there used to be, and you were alive at this time, a mind is a terrible thing to waste. Mm-hmm. You were there when Martin Luther King was there. You were there.
I was.
And now we've gone from a mind is a terrible thing to waste to putting people who twerk at the Democratic National Convention.
I know.
To put the jesters up in front of the people and say, this is the highest representation of your culture. And it's not. Our children, Paul, my young black men can't read. They can't read. Yeah. They can't read. It drives me bonkers. They said I had dyslexia and hyperactivity as a child. So to become an actor, to download a script into my brain and repeat it on stage or in front of the camera was a huge thing for me. I was like, I got to learn how to read. Yeah. But how do you overpower a culture? Right. You remove the education.
Exactly.
And then you make them animals.
Yeah.
What are we doing to ourselves?
Like, I remember the things you talked about, I don't go back to Jim Crow, but I was always curious, and I was very aware, because I grew up in New York City, and my parents were divorced, so part of my growing up was in the suburbs of Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. The nice suburbs. My dad had a job, but my mom lived in the city, and we lived in a bad neighborhood. I mean, it was not the best neighborhood, and I went to school up at 111th Street, and I was a young kid, so I encountered racism from blacks in Puerto Rico to us because we were white. So that was our upbringing. But it made me think, I don't know what it made me think, but when I would go back to Pennsylvania, I would look at what was happening. And we used to drive down south, and I remember, white only. Still that was happening, man. It was in the 50s. I remembered it, early 60s. But I watched those things. There was the redlining.
Mm-hmm.
There was the area where the black people lived. It was called Mount Pleasant. It was by the golf course. And I would listen to my parents, not my father. My father was square. He didn't, he wasn't a racist or any, and he said people are all good. I didn't grow up being, racist against black but I saw how people would come over and discuss, like his friends. I would hear, and then if there was a black person there, they would speak differently.
Right.
And I delved deeper and I saw the redlining, and then I realized myself, like I saw what was going on with welfare, like give the black people money, don't let them get educated, and you're right, they wanted them squashed down.
Yeah, because what do you do when you constantly hand out something to somebody and don't say, hey, like we go further back and we get Rosewood and we get all these different, even East St. Louis was burned to the ground.
Right.
The people who burnt, they never got anything for that.
Yeah.
And so it's not just, slavery, it's all the other stuff that happened after that's been a consistent,
and that's what people think.
Punch you in your face. Yeah. And when it's, okay, we're going to do the civil rights movement, but then the civil rights movement stops being about black empowerment and it starts being about women's rights.
Right.
God bless women's rights.
Let's mix it up.
And it starts being about gay rights.
Yeah.
God bless gay rights. But the LGBT community has made more strides in the last 30 years than the black community has. In fact, the black community, I look at it, I'm like, you guys have gone further back. What are you doing? Well, because you was it? We are the children of a unfinished revolution, is what the poet said, and we find that that's true. And so we'll just hand this out to you instead of
free stuff.
Taking your Black Wall Street and destroying it, taking your cities and destroying it, taking your culture and destroying it, and then saying, look at you, you're animals. Well, what would you do?
Yeah, what would you do?
What would you do?
Yeah.
And then Black Lives Matter pops up. God bless Black Lives Matter. I'm black. Black lives do matter. But it had nothing to do with Black lives.
Well, didn't they take all the money?
They took all the money, and then come to find out that the lady was a lesbian, and she was married to some transgender woman, and it wasn't even about black people. But all that money went to the LGBTQ community.
Oh my God!
And it's like, wait a minute, I thought this was supposed to be about black people. I said, well, I've given my reparation to the black people. No, boo-boo, you didn't. No. You gave it to them, and you just thought it was for us, but it had nothing to do with us.
What's the because when I look at, and this is something you're not allowed to mention either, is like the wholesale slaughter of young black men.
Wholesale.
I mean, you don't even hear about it. Like, I have friends that live in Chicago, outside of Chicago, and they don't, I mean, they're aware of it, but I know 60, 70 people are shot every weekend. And nobody gives a crap.
Create enough poverty.
Right. So how do you fix it now? What do you do now? Because the gangs are so gone. You look at these kids and they're like 11.
I think we have to return to, when I was in Jamaica, I met a woman who lives in Chicago, and she was carjacked by a 13-year-old.
Yeah.
A nurse at the hospital.
13.
Just carjacked her.
Yeah.
Education is number one.
Right. When
we increase education and we put a value on education, reading, writing, arithmetic, the basics, history. A mind is a terrible thing to waste. We put a basis on education, but also the culture. I went on a date with a young woman in San Antonio, and she seemed really educated, and she was, I've got 2 degrees and this, that, and the other. And when she came out, we went to the restaurant, she was just the most disreputable cretin. She was a cretin, Paul. And I was like, and the whole night she was talking about how she was a bad bitch and this, that, and I got 2 degrees. Yeah, but sometimes giving an I'm going to say this. I can teach an ape how to sign and how to paint, but I can't teach it how to be human.
Yeah.
You can have 3, 4 degrees, but if you're acting like an animal, it doesn't matter. Education and culture. Education and culture. You can't have an education if the culture is trash. And your culture means nothing if your education is trash. So you need that together. In the black community, when we were all just living in the same place and everyone actually cared, like the Morrisons who I talked about,
right.
They were serious. They would not let me. I had a book report due on A Wrinkle in Time.
You were going to do
Mr.
it.
Morrison made sure you're going to sit right there and you're going to do that.
Yeah.
That report.
We're back. We had a technical thing.
Little technical difficulties.
Yeah, we've been saving the world. Calion and I are going to
Saving
run
the
for
world.
president. You
man.
can be president. I'll be your vice president, and I'll implement all this stuff. But we talk about these basic things, and it's like, I don't know. I wish America now would just chill the fuck out, and how can we just all do better for everybody? It's just everyone's arguing at everybody, and there's so many things to get done. Like
There's
the
so much
homeless
work to do.
people and you know how to deal with all these things. And to me, like we were talking about before, the black community is in such terrible straits. I mean, so many young kids are being murdered by their own.
Murdered.
And I agree that all this came from the subjugation of the race.
Came from the subjugation
And
of
that's,
the people.
you get generations and generations of people that have gotten no break and wanted to push down. And what do you end up with?
Because it's this, and we know it's from subjugation because it's the same thing everywhere you go.
Yeah.
Go to Haiti, it's the same thing.
Same thing.
Go to Jamaica, it's the same thing. South Africa,
Yeah.
same thing. Kenya, same thing. Uganda, Burkina Faso, Malawi, it's all the same thing.
Right.
Why? Because a culture of people was completely pressed down. Before Germany went to the Jews, no one talks about how they went to the Congo and the horrible things they did there.
Yeah.
Nobody talks about it.
Yeah.
And so this stuff gets into the blood. And when you constantly do that to a people,
Yeah.
it'd be one thing if it was just America. It's
Well,
not.
Yeah.
It's the descendants of the sub-Saharan African people who were put into slavery all over the world.
Yeah.
And
Well,
so
does
we
that just go
know
back to racism?
It's a racism
Yeah.
thing. And so when the United Nations finally says, this is the worst crime that has been perpetrated on humanity, period. And then other countries are like, nah, we don't think it's the worst. Well, we think, but of course we think it is because it's my people. Just like when you to deal with Jewish people, they're like, no, the Holocaust, that's some bad stuff. And black people and Jews are always arguing. They're like, well, slavery. And then Jews are like, well, Egypt. You got to go back to Egypt.
The Irish have been screwed over too
Even
by
the Irish.
Brits. They were, I mean,
Screwed
the
over by the
potato
Brits.
famine was not a famine. It was the British people starving them to death.
Starving them to
Yeah.
death.
So, I mean,
And
here,
so we do this
It's humans,
as
though.
humans
Yeah, we're terrible.
to each other.
Yeah.
The distinction is when we started doing it to the black African, we changed the description of race.
yeah,
That black and white, and it didn't exist before. They made a definition
right.
of it. You didn't do that with anybody else. There's no records of the Irish being considered three of you. It takes three of you to make one person.
Oh, no.
That didn't exist
Until
until they did it with, because, well, hey,
Yeah.
we've got this whole group of people that we can subjugate, and we'll just subjugate them, and we won't subjugate each other because, hey, you and me, we're white, and it's
Well, the British never thought of the Irish.
British never thought of the Irish.
My mother lived in London, and she called me up one day. She said, "Look, you'll never get, I got this census thing."
Mm-hmm.
And I forget how they worded it, but it was like white, and then it said Irish. So it was...
Well, or
wasn't-
here it's are you Hispanic or not Hispanic?
Yeah, and
There's
you
your
don't have to
culture, and then
answer.
there's your
Yeah.
ethnicity.
But-
and I think,
I mean, let's go back. Forget about the last 400 or 500 years. I mean, this is the people, the human beings are just they slaughter each other. Rome,
Terrible people.
Genghis Khan, he killed more people. I saw the other day he killed more people. More people weren't farming, and it actually affected
it affected the
something in the sky. So
the climate, because
we've
people
been
weren't
doing
farming.
this. It's
We
not just this
hate
little,
each other.
Yeah, it's like what's going to happen?
We hate each other.
and then now we all have nuclear bombs.
And now we all have nuclear weapons.
Yeah, so-
what's to keep us from destroying each other? Mutually assured destruction. Thank you, Reagan and Gorbachev. I think that was Reagan and Gorbachev. I could be wrong, but I think it was Reagan and Gorbachev. Mutually assured destruction. Well, if you do this,
Yeah,
then
we're
I'm
gonna do
going to
this
do
too.
that. We've lost A mentor of mine wrote a book called "Is Civility is No Longer Civil."
Yeah.
We've lost, and without civility, there can be no civilization. We have to be able to go back to certain ideals. Do we want to raise ourselves above the animals? Yes. Okay, then. Let's act like we have some couth. Let's act like we have some sense.
Where do you start?
Stand
though?
up straight.
Where,
You have to
where do you
start. It's hard to start with the adults.
Yeah, you got to start with the kids
You have to start with the
Yeah,
kids.
they're gone. But who starts it?
It's got to be the generation above
Yeah,
them who says it's
yeah.
got to change.
Yeah, but you're not allowed to. What I notice is you're not really allowed to mention it.
And that's the way we keep it from
Yeah,
changing.
and-
Don't talk about it.
And listen. I don't pretend to know what it's like to be black
Yeah.
or Native American, or
'Cause I don't
because a lot
know.
of people do. They say, "Oh well, no, I have no freaking idea.
I have no idea.
I know how it is to be me,
Yeah.
white guy. You know, I'm a descendant of, Northern European Viking kind of people. That's all
Norse people.
That's all I know.
Y'all are some big people.
But I see what I see, and I see that our country subjugated your people. That's what I see, and then I see the results of it. Not only was it back then in the 50s and 60s, it was poverty, but now it's murder, and it seems to be the culture is like, it's all about singing about murder.
It's not that far removed.
No.
The last direct descendant of a slave, meaning his father was enslaved, died in 2023.
Really.
Now, maybe no one else gets a reparation.
Yeah.
But he should have gotten it.
Well, how
He should have
how should we handle the reparations? How do you make sense of it? Because everyone,
You know how culture, company, businesses,
Yeah.
or institutions, they'll say, well, what we'll do is we're going to create a scholarship, or
Right.
we're going to create an educational system where everybody's welcome.
Right.
Well, that's like me telling you, Paul, I owe you $5,000.
Right.
But here's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to put it into an interest-bearing
Yeah, right.
account,
Yeah.
and then everybody who
Yeah.
wants to come
Yeah.
and get some bills paid, they can come to me and get that, and everybody's going to benefit.
Well, that's
but I owe you that money.
Yeah.
Why am I giving that money to everybody? That's your money. I owe you.
Yeah.
I should be giving it to you. We dish out all sorts of money for everything else.
We give every country in the world
Every
money.
country
Yeah.
in
What
the
about?
world.
Yeah. Exactly.
Trillions. Who was it when they discovered that they've been giving the Taliban money?
Yeah.
All sorts of money.
Cash. Yeah.
So you're going to give it. You're going to give it to the people who want to blow us up.
Yeah.
But you're not going to give it to the people in your own
Well,
country.
how should people see it? How would it be done?
In
Like,
my opinion, and
everyone
again,
gets-
I'm not an economist,
Yeah.
but just stop putting money in the wrong place. Say, we're going to do this.
Yeah.
Screw how you feel about it, everybody. The country owes these people. The country owes a debt, and the debt has to be paid.
Yeah.
And until that debt is paid, I don't have the answer on how to do it. I'm not an economist. If I sat down, I could probably figure it out. There's actually a really great book called From Here to Reparations, and the authors present like 10 different ways to do it.
10 scenarios.
10 different scenarios in order to fix it, but then they give the whole story about it. Go to the smart people who are writing about it and say, hey, here's how we can do it. We had Republicans back right after slavery who were like, hey, here's how we can do it. They're like, no. Here's how we can do it. No. Well, we can do it this way. No. Well, we can do it that way. No. Every answer that's brought up is always shot down.
Right.
Because if you do it, then you really do acknowledge,
That it
hey,
happened.
it's one thing to say, I'm sorry about punching you in the face, buddy, but your insurance will take care of that, right? No. Your insurance should take care of it. You're the one who caused the problem.
Yeah, you punched me.
You punched me. You're the one who caused the problem. Your insurance should take care of it. Do I believe in it? Yes.
Yeah.
How to fix it? I don't know. There's people who are far smarter than I am. My specialty is history, church history, and theology, and acting and writing.
Acting and writing.
That's what I do.
Yeah, I couldn't even begin to even.
I
don't even know how to make sense of it.
I don't know how to make sense of it, but what I do know is I agree with Rodney King. Can't we all just get along? And can't we all act like we have some sense? And know, I'm not going to agree with everybody. One man said, he's dead now, but he said, We don't have to agree on everything, but we don't have to be disagreeable.
Yeah, that's true.
We don't have to yell and scream. I love watching debates from the 50s and 60s because one person will speak.
Yeah, not anymore.
And then they'll say, that's an interesting point. But have you thought about this, this, and this? My suggestion is, and my opinion is this, that, and that. Interesting. But what about this, that, and the other, and such and such? And there was just an equal sharing of ideals.
Yeah. Well, that was also back when news was not all commentary. Remember, there used to be a guy...
And you weren't being told how to feel about what you're saying.
Eric Severide was on CBS, I think, and they'd bring him in to do commentary. I remember these little white letters would come up, would say commentary, it would flash. I think now they should do, when they do real news on the channel, they should put news.
Real news.
Yeah.
Real news. Because, not your opinion on it.
Yeah,
real news.
Everyone's got an issue, and that's why... For us to talk about this stuff without people yelling at us, I mean, I'm sure we'll get people who are going to not like it.
You're going to get people who don't like it.
Yeah, and I'm not, like I said, I'm an independent. I'm talking about people and how to live better in the country and what we should do about the past. And I don't know.
Who was it said that those who, and it's a famous saying, those who forget their past are doomed to repeat it.
Well, now they want, what do you think about tearing down all the monuments and renaming all the...
No, that's ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
It doesn't make... It's stupid.
I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. It's never happened. Stonewall Jackson never existed.
Right.
Robert E. Lee never existed.
But that's what happens when a new regime comes in power in a dictatorship. They erase the past and they create a new year zero.
Yeah.
And they say, this is our year zero. None of that other stuff ever happened.
Well, that's
and because the human mind can't hold on to 100 years of knowledge, you just forget all of it.
Yeah.
You're like, wait, that happened? Yeah, that happened.
Well, this is funny too. The AI, one of the AI, somebody did the founding fathers, and they were all like, some of them were black, and so it was like it didn't happen that way.
It didn't happen that way.
And it's like now.
Or that, what's the Abraham Lincoln was black. No, he wasn't.
Well, also, yeah, but I mean,
Woody Allen, for instance, he said he doesn't care. He's like, I don't cast black people in my films. That's his right.
Yeah.
He's a filmmaker.
Right.
I don't have to do that.
Yeah, you don't have to watch his movie.
If all the movies that I
Did he really say that?
Yeah.
But he says it by just who he casts.
He doesn't cast black people.
But you shouldn't have to like The Godfather, or a show.
The Godfather should not look. I remember when I watched Goodfellas.
Yeah.
And that opening scene where they steal the truck. There's some niggas just stole my car. Just you won't believe it. In the grand scheme of things, that's how. But I don't want to see Don Corleone played by a black Italian guy. I don't, because that's not history.
Right.
Even
it's changing. Good, bad, or indifferent. It should be.
Stage is a different story.
Yeah.
On stage, you give whoever can play the part.
Right.
Film is a different medium.
Why is it different?
I think because on stage, anybody can play anything.
Yeah.
Now, I still don't want to see a white guy playing Martin Luther King Jr. on stage.
I could play Martin
That's
Luther
not
King.
going to happen.
Why can't I?
You're a great actor.
Yeah. Why can't I play Huey Newton?
Because you don't know as you said, I don't know what it's like to be black.
Yeah.
There's putting myself in the position of another character, occupying the skin of another human being. I can put myself in the skin of another human being for a basic story in modern day America, but I don't know the skin of a human being 50, 60 years ago. I didn't live that.
Yeah.
So I can study it and I can try to play it and I can pull on those emotions and want, obstacle, feeling, moment before, as if I can do all that. But there's some, like, you don't know what it's like to wake up in the morning and have a hot comb go through your sister's hair with blue magic on it. You don't know that story.
But as an actor, if you played someone back 300 years ago, none of us know what that was like. So
none of us know what that was like.
But now it seems like people are trying to make casting decisions based on
it's
making
all
everybody equal.
DEI and everyone's equal.
DEI.
And the truth is, ideals are equal,
but
we are not all equal.
Yeah. I don't know about you. I want the best pilot flying the plane.
I want the best pilot flying the plane.
I don't care what color he is.
Can that young lady fly?
And is it a woman?
Fly?
Yeah.
Is she good at it?
Let's fly.
Is there proof that she can do this? Then please give her the plane.
Yeah.
I don't care if that guy has. I don't care.
I understand
who's the
why
better
it came,
pilot
though, because there were no breaks back then. You didn't get it.
You didn't get any breaks.
So it had to be. So the pendulum sort of went all the way this way now.
Goes one way.
I want it to go in the middle now.
The
like,
other way.
let's not worry about what color you are. That would be a beautiful day.
What was it
wouldn't
that Martin Luther King said?
Morgan Freeman
I wait for the
says
day that we are judged not by the color of our skin, but by the content of our character.
Yeah.
And the truth is, if you really zoom in on Martin Luther King during his life, you're like, what are you talking about character? But you were a man.
Yeah.
Right? And you were a powerful man.
Yeah, you throw the first stone, right?
You throw the stone. Exactly.
Yeah.
But he who is without sin cast the first stone.
Not
everybody wants to throw stones at each other like they're innocent, like they never did anything to anybody. And that's just not true.
Yeah.
So like the Odyssey that's just coming out, they cast Lupita Nyong'o
I read that. Yeah, I just read that
as
this
Helen
morning.
of Troy.
Yeah, Helen of
They're
Troy.
like, well, it's a mythological story.
Yeah.
Yes, but
Yeah.
this story takes place in Greece, and Greece is still a place. And the Greek people were like, they wrote a letter.
Did they really?
And they were like, look, we exist and we're still a group of people.
Yeah.
And this is our story. These are stories from our culture. And while I'm certain that there were Moors and dark-skinned people who from the African world, or what is now Africa.
But they weren't in Troy.
But they weren't in Troy.
Yeah.
You might have had some slaves or some servants who were.
Yeah.
But Helen of Troy, the author was not, when we're doing a film. And they're like, we want to stick true to the writer's vision. This is what the writer wrote. We want to stay true to it.
Well, she was even described as having white skin.
The way she's described in the book. Well, we can change that. And it's thousands of years old, and if that's what you want to do. But what I've learned is, you know why they don't cast Superman as a black guy?
Why?
Because Superman is not black. He's just not. There is a character called Icon that is black.
Yeah.
It's basically the black Superman. Make his movie.
Yeah, call him something.
They offered Will Smith Superman.
Yeah, what did he
and
say?
he said, I'm not doing that.
Because that's Superman.
Because when he did Wild Wild West,
Yeah.
he said, I learned you do not mess with white people and with their characters.
Yeah.
Jim West was a white guy.
Yeah.
And he's a fake character.
He's fake. Yeah, he's made up.
But
Like,
people have invested.
hey, let's make Popeye white.
Let's make Popeye
That'd be cool.
Let's make Popeye a black guy.
Yeah.
Why?
Why?
That's not the character.
But it makes no sense. Like, why not just make up another character?
Just make him another character.
But then, I don't know.
Because the idea, again,
we're way out on a limb, you know.
Right, we're entertainers.
Yeah.
Remember, you were talking about, we mentioned the tearing down of these statues and different monuments. That's all that is.
Yeah.
You retcon a story that people love, and you change it. Just like casting Cynthia Erivo as Jesus Christ in Jesus Christ Superstar. Jesus Christ wasn't a black woman. He wasn't. He was a man. He had a beard. He was a man. He was a first century Jewish man. Well, and so let's keep the story where the story is. So if we'll do that with real living people, if you take the stories that we love, just like Disney did with Star Wars, they knew what they were doing. Just like Disney did with Marvel. They knew what they were doing. Mm-hmm. They were trying to take these pillars of a society, pop culture. The only export we really have anymore as a country is entertainment. So you take this entertainment and you tear it down. But then they started learning, we're going to keep losing money. And at the end of the day, that's all it can. We're going to keep losing money.
Well,
we've got to fix this. We can't. So now they've done Doomsday. And they're going back. They reshot Avengers. They shot some new scenes for Avengers to tie it into this new Doomsday movie to wipe out a bunch of other stuff that they did because they've spent the last 6 or 7 years tanking the whole thing.
There's nobody running a movie studio that knows anything about movies anymore.
What are you doing?
In the old days, it was like, you know, you had Steve McQueen and you had the great producer who was married to Ali MacGraw. I mean, you had people that knew movies.
Tom Cruise is one of the last great movie stars, I think. Matt Damon's still really good.
Yeah.
Ben Affleck's still really good.
Costner's a movie star.
But Costner's still really good.
We don't have movie stars
but
anymore.
we really don't.
Yeah.
It's just the movie stars are the characters, and that's why it's even more important to keep the characters as they are. Hugh Jackman is Wolverine, but when Hugh Jackman dies, someone's gonna have to play Wolverine.
Yeah.
Christopher Reeve was Superman, but somebody had to play Superman.
I get it.
You can't. It's like what they did with Black Panther. When Chadwick Boseman died, they knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
They were already going to make Shuri the Black Panther. They were going to do it already. Don't tell me that he found out he had cancer days before he got the part and that Disney didn't know about it.
What do you think? Was it a conspiracy?
Of course they knew
Really?
about it.
I have no idea.
You know more about these contracts than I do. It wasn't a surprise for them. They knew that man was dying. God bless him, but they knew he was dying.
I don't really.
They knew he was
How do you
dying,
know
and
that?
they didn't want to recast him.
Yeah.
Batman gets recast. Superman gets recast. James Bond gets recast.
Yeah.
We're going to recast him, and you're going to like it
But what about this one?
because we don't want to offend the black community.
Well,
And we're going to call it that. We want to honor the black. We're never going to have. But then you take the only black male character you have, the only good one,
Yeah.
and you get rid of him. And you swap him for a woman.
yeah.
Well, what does that do to the black boy who looks up to the Black Panther? Now, it's a girl.
Oh no.
And so it's
Say it's not so.
say it ain't so.
I don't
But
know that.
when you look,
That
you're
one's
like,
too far, maybe.
I
Too far of
can't-
a bridge for me to walk
I
on.
can't. Come on, man.
I don't know about that one.
Don't take Superman and we have Supergirl. Give us a Supergirl movie. Don't take Superman and say Superman's a girl now. No, he's not.
Oh, he's Supergirl.
He's Superman, and
Just
they're
make up
Supergirl.
new characters.
Just give us new characters.
And I
I don't want to take Sergeant Bale and turn him into a black woman. I don't.
Well, he was an historical person. you know.
Exactly. It's a historical
Like-
character. There were no white buffalo soldiers.
Yeah, we could have. Like, I've always tried to cast. Like, whenever I do a movie, there was always Native American. I always cast. I always put in the language.
I always liked that about
You know,
you. Yeah.
and it was important, but I don't know what I think about. I think that people have to get beyond me. Like, it's just going to be stories. And I see the young kids now; they're less about this than we are. You know what I mean? It's like anything's kind of game. Everything is because I'm wrapped up in the past. I mean, I remember those things, so I can't help but not. But if you grow up now, I mean, I don't know. I hope it just breaks through where everyone's just everyone, and we can just do a story. Because now there's so many interracial marriages, and I mean, there's a whole generation of good-looking mixed race kids,
and I'm all for that.
It doesn't matter anymore.
You know, there's certain things, but if we're telling a historical story, we gotta stick to the history.
Exactly.
If you're telling something that's 50 years down the road, who cares?
Yeah, you got to be historically correct.
But you're telling a historical story, and we have to stick to the history. We can play with it. We can tweak it a little bit. There's always the disclaimer we give. This is based on a true story. Certain aspects of the story have been changed for entertainment value. Okay, but I can't just completely change the character 100%. When I see a film about young George Washington, he better be about 6 feet tall and white.
Yeah. Did you see it?
I enjoyed it. I thought
good?
it was very good.
I want to watch it. Actually.
I thought it was really good. The opening shot.
Oh, don't give it away.
Oh, it's such. As a camera guy, you're gonna love it. It's such a good, and it's all one shot.
Yeah, cool.
It's beautiful. I was like, oh my gosh, that is a good shot.
Yeah.
But I do that all the time when I'm watching a movie. I'm like, that's a good shot.
Yeah,
I like that shot.
if you know, you know. I love getting into a movie where I stop thinking about it.
That was hard for a while for me.
I don't think about like how they did it, but I'm easy for that because I got into movies because I love movies. So I sit down and I cry in movies.
I remember watching Terminator 2.
Yeah.
And I remember crying.
I didn't cry at Terminator.
And Paul, I cried.
That's
and
Terminator,
he's beating on his chest. I order you not to go. I order you not to go. And I know now why you cry. But you must understand it's something I can't do. And he gets on it. I cannot self-terminate. And he goes down. And they're up there and they're crying. And then the thumb goes up. And I'm like, why am I crying? What is happening? Oh my God, this is beautiful.
The thumb up. The thumb up. So I want to know, what can everybody do tomorrow to make it all better, man? Because it's all...
Wake up in the morning, I think,
be nice
and
to your
determine
neighbor.
that you're going to just love one another.
Yeah.
Just
I would do
love one another. Just, it's not even hard.
Have you driven on the freeway lately?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it can be difficult. It can be difficult to love one another when you're on the freeway.
Well, they're not loving on you.
And it's like, can you please get off your phone? But you're not loving on me.
No, I'm talking about the aggressive.
Oh, the aggressiveness.
And the craziness of it all.
Gosh.
Yeah, you talk about all about being me. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And you really try not to be like, I'm going to try. Please, I'm going to try not.
Oh, I've got a new thing where I used to get. I'm older, so I got rid of the trappings of youth, but I get pissed off. I would let people know. Now but also people shoot you now for honking a horn.
Folks will shoot you. They'll
nothing.
throw hot coffee in your face, which shows you that the level of anger
People are pissed
and
off.
psychosis, people are pissed
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
And it's like, why are you so angry? Is it like, I tell people, I remember one guy was snapping and was like, hey,
Yeah, why are you so
just
angry?
talk to me.
Yeah.
Can you just talk to me so I can maybe try to understand what the problem is? But when our culture, you can just go on YouTube or TikTok and everybody's just, all we want to see is each other yelling at each other.
Well, what do you think about the video games, the first person shoot 'em up, and what do you think of the UFC? I mean, everything's settled back and kick your ass. And everyone, they have UFC every weekend.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be like, because I grew up, I was a martial artist. I did fighting.
Yeah.
I did we did full contact karate before it was. I wished I would have been younger, or I could have made
I think
some money at it,
for males,
but- yeah.
there's particularly younger males, and we see it in all of nature. There is a test of strength.
Yeah.
When my older brother and I, the last fight we got into, we caused caused about a couple $1,000s worth of damage to my mom's house.
Yeah.
And he won because he body slammed me on a stair, but he never put his hands on me again.
Yeah. My brother the same.
Because there used to be this idea that we understood you're in a place where someone might just try to kick your ass.
Yeah.
You're going to have to fight back.
Right.
Everything can't be answered by diplomacy because some people aren't looking at, to quote very good writing in The Dark Knight, some people aren't looking for anything logical. They can't be bought, bullied, or reasoned with.
Yeah.
Some people just want to watch the world burn. Some people just need to be punched in the mouth.
Yeah.
And it's...
Remember when that used to be okay?
It used to be okay.
Yeah.
It used to be okay, but then everybody got too sensitive about it.
Yeah, or they're
because
online, too.
the culture got very effeminate.
Yeah.
Like, well, we can talk everything out. When the movie He-Man just recently came out, they do a great job at showing the difference between the two.
Yeah.
He-Man, Adam, works in human resources, which is predominantly female run. So everything is very catty and very talkative. Men don't do that. If we're going to deal with something and it's we might just come to blows. And part of that is what causes us to control ourselves. So in the film, he's trying to negotiate with all these villains.
Good luck, right?
And he's trying to negotiate with Skeletor, and Skeletor tells him, "What, you thought you were going to talk me down?
Yeah.
You can't reason with... I'm a villain.
Yeah.
I'm a bad guy. That's it. There's no turning me around. There's no turning... I'm a villain."
Yeah.
And so he's like, okay, I'm done talking. When I was a child, eventually my mother said, "I'm done talking. I'm going to whoop you."
Right. Yeah,
Well, that's abuse. No. I was a kid, and I was hard-headed, and I was being stupid, and I needed to get a butt whooping. And once I got that butt whooping, bet I never did what I did again. Bet you won't do that again, do you?
Attitude adjustment.
Attitude adjustment. Everything doesn't require getting hit, and people who've been abused have a hard time with that.
Yeah.
But sometimes, and you trained in, what was your discipline in martial arts?
Oh, I did. Oh.
Like jiu-jitsu and what have you?
Well, I started with karate.
Okay.
And then I got into jiu-jitsu when I saw the Hoist Gracie kill everybody.
Right, Gracie's a
And then I
beast.
went right over to the Gracie
Right over
studio.
to Gracie studio.
And I met all the Gracies, and
I did American Kempo.
Yeah.
My Sifu was a man named Dennis Wooten. And one of the things that he always taught us was, you're not training to learn how to kill somebody. You're training to learn to defend yourself and to defend the people you love.
Yeah.
That's what you're trained to. I'm not here to try. I don't want to fight you.
Right.
But if I have to,
Yeah.
I will. I don't want to.
Well, you have to be able to protect your family.
I want to be able to talk this out with you, to reason with
Not
you.
to Skeletor.
Not to Skeletor. But a lot of people think they're Skeletor. And they watch a lot of movies and they think that stuff, this is not a movie.
Yeah.
You talk to the best martial artists in the world. They're not trying to like, hey,
No,
you're
not going to get in a fight. You're going to get in a fight with a.
They're not trying to do that.
Criminals are criminals.
Criminals are criminals. Bad people are bad people. I'm not trying to fight you.
Yeah.
But every now and again, you're going to keep talking and you get smacked in the mouth.
Yeah.
And then you're going to cry and say, they hit me in the mouth. But why did they hit you in the mouth? Were they the instigator or were you instigating? Yeah. If you were instigating, why were you instigating? Why? I body slammed a kid once because he kept picking with me and I had to body slam him.
Yeah.
That was totally uncalled for. He'd been picking with me for months. I roundhouse kicked a guy in the jaw and dislocated it, but he had been picking with me for months.
Yeah.
4 months. And I just got sick of it. You have, if you're going to, how do you deal with a bully?
Yeah.
You roundhouse kick him in the jaw.
Well, you have to.
Or you choke them out until they submit.
Yeah.
You have to. A mutual fight causes a mutual respect at the end.
Yeah,
but a
didn't
bully,
you have a fight where you were kind of friends after?
Yeah,
but
everyone
not
I've had
to like criminal, because I had a lot of fights when I was a kid. We lived in neighborhoods where you had to fight, and then that's how I got into martial arts.
Yeah,
because kids were beating me up, so I figured, I better do something.
Better do something about it.
Yeah, so it worked. I'm glad I did it, but then it became like a lifestyle, and then to see the Gracies, oh my God, these guys had it down, man.
Yeah,
and I know most of them. They'll fight you. and the grandfather, I was lucky. My first lesson was with Elio Gracie.
Oh, wow.
The old man.
Mm-hmm.
I went down there and he happened to be there, and he got on top of me smiling and just chokes me out.
He's like, how you doing?
I didn't want to hurt this guy, and I said, I'm going to hurt, and I couldn't get him off me. And then I signed up right there.
Like, absolutely.
Yeah, I signed right up. But they meant it, and I was there early enough where the people would come in and want to fight, like off the street. And that was always a bad idea.
Like an old martial arts movie, I will fight everyone in your dojo.
Yeah, he'd come in, and usually they'd send up a purple belt. To fight. Before you could fight one of the black belt, one of the real Gracies, you had to fight,
Yeah, you got to get there. You can't just walk in and say, I challenge every black belt in your dojo.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. But I don't know. I find myself at my age, I still want to train, but I remember when I was a kid, I was in college, and there was a guy, he was in his 50s. And I was like 17, and we thought he was so old, and we sort of, but boy, you didn't want to get hit by him.
You don't want to get hit by him.
Yeah, but
last thing to go is the punch.
So I don't want to go in and be the old guy, and I think I'm at a point where I need private lessons maybe, and also I don't want to hit the floor. I've been doing martial arts since 1966. So how many fights do I have to prove? I'm old now.
Right.
I have an old body. I don't want to.
But you know what makes you think? Like, before Chuck Norris died, who just died recently.
Yeah, Chuck Norris.
He was doing a training session, and that man's kicks still sounded like a shotgun. Mow, mow.
Well, you can still do it. You're just old.
But it's like, even now, I'm 44. If I get hit, I'm like, that hurt.
But,
I don't want to get hit.
But I'm not like I was. I always remember this thing. Remember the Wide World of Sports?
Yeah.
And you know who Jim Brown was?
Yeah.
Jim Brown was awesome. And I was a kid back when he was awesome. He was Jim Brown. I mean, he was like Jim Brown. So Jim Brown got older, and I remember they did a challenge match on Wide World of Sports, and they had these young football stars against Jim Brown. And Jim Brown went out, he got his ass kicked in all the events. And you could see it on his face. He was crushed.
I'm just not that. Look,
because he still thought he was.
Right. My big thing has always been, I love bodybuilding. I love weightlifting. I love that.
Yeah.
And I used to be able to go into the gym. I'd do 100 burpees, and then I'd do like 50 deadlifts at like 300 pounds, and then I'd go do chest. And then because I just loved working out.
Yeah.
And man, look. I've got a very strict regimen now. Like, well, you've slowed. Well, yeah, you're naturally going to slow down. Yeah. It just age eventually catches up with us all.
Yeah, it kills you.
And hopefully, by the time you've gotten a little older, you're a little wiser, and you're able to just sit and talk and communicate some ideas and communicate some things.
But you still train martial arts, right?
I haven't trained martial arts in a while.
But you remember it.
I got into yoga. Which meant because my knees started getting rough from all the powerlifting.
You need some more water?
Oh, I'm good, man.
Yeah,
I'm good.
all right, okay.
And my knees got really bad from all the powerlifting,
all
and
those
so
burpees.
and all those burpees. It is a high impact, and so the yoga has really helped strengthen the tendons and and keep me flexible. Which, as we get older, you're gonna need. I remember when I first started training, like, don't stretch. Yeah. My first trainer was like, you don't have to do that. But then when I started learning about stuff, I was like, well, no, I should stretch. It's like when I'm doing martial arts, they say stretch. This is weightlifting. You don't have to worry about that. No, stretch, fool. You need to stretch.
Yeah. So are you going back to Africa soon or no?
I'm not sure what I'll be doing this year. I'm trying to get, like I said, I've got Victor Virtue coming out this month. I've got my poetry book coming out on the 14th.
Poetry book. Oh,
yeah, I've got a book of poetry that's coming out on the 14th. Yeah. And then trying to get some writing done. And then if I get invited, I'll go. But it's expensive.
do you do anything like that here in the States? I mean, do you? Because like clearly the youth needs help.
It's
in
needed.
Some communities.
It's needed. And so I try to stay engaged with the youth at the church and do community outreach and things like that. Do different events to get them out. But it's different.
Well, how is the
America.
state of the I mean, do I say black community?
Mm-hmm.
The community of, because everyone is not in the gang culture.
Not everybody.
It's a certain sliver of it, but they're so powerful and because they shoot people.
Yeah.
But it must be the rest. What's the rest of the community think like that could be done? I mean, what?
To let you in on a little thing that we say, there are those of us who will say we don't hang out with them.
We don't hang out with who? The gang?
We don't hang out with those people. And every community has
the gangsters.
Those people.
Those people.
Though we don't hang out with those people, you know.
And that's gangsters.
Gangsters, the no good nicks,
Yeah, okay.
the cretins, the hood folk. We don't hang out with them.
And what percentage are they?
That I can't even say.
But they're not overly.
It's not the biggest percent, but the thing is, if that's the percentile that everyone sees,
right,
then that's what people think everybody is like.
But I mean, my question is, what are the other people in the black community thinking? Because all this is going on. I mean,
they're thinking, "What are we doing? What's wrong with us? Why? What are you guys doing?"
Yeah, and you can't talk to them because they're Skeletor.
And right, exactly.
You don't sit those guys down.
You don't sit those guys down and say, "Hey,
let's have a milkshake.
Let's have a milkshake and let's have a talk." They're like, "I don't want to talk to you."
No, they'll
I
shoot
don't want to
you.
talk to you. And that's the life that they know, and that's the world they live in.
Right.
But I remember my mother always said, "I don't want you guys growing up in the hood.
Yeah.
I don't want you guys to be. I don't want you guys there.
Yeah.
I want you guys to get out of there, and to at least make something of yourselves.
Right.
That's not just grow up, get shot early, go to jail,
prison.
what have you."
Yeah.
And we had a pretty rough start with the foster care and the bouncing around and everything like that. But I can say my twin sister has her doctorate. Since the last time we've seen you, I've got my doctorate.
Really?
Yep.
In what?
It's in theology.
Get out,
So I've
really?
got a THD in church history and one in counseling.
My mere bachelor's.
And so...
Doctor.
And then my older sister has a doctorate.
So I can call you doctor.
You can
right?
call me Dr. Maston if you'd like, yes.
I will. Well, that goes back to like, the country tried to crush everybody down, but hey, you had a black president. People find that, like in many countries you couldn't, like many countries like India, you're born into a caste system, you're done.
India's a caste system, and that's it.
And there's many places like that. I mean, in China, so many people try out to go to the university. I mean, thousands of them. But here, no matter what, you find a way.
Everybody, you could start your own university if you wanted to.
Yeah, you can. And
you
start your own church when people do.
When people do.
That's a way to make some money, start a church.
You can start like this. We are the church of the holy hat.
Yeah.
And people will come in and they're so gullible and they'll just give you all their money.
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous.
I saw a thing the other day. It was one of these evangelist guys, and he had the earphone.
Yeah.
And he had the woman, and they're saying, no, not that one. And he goes,
right.
And then she'd say where they lived, and
people would do that,
down,
right? Because they
want something to believe in.
They want something to believe in, and there's the truth of it, and then there's the theatrical performance, and the theatrical takes away from the real. Because there are real experiences that
Right.
people have with God.
Oh.
There are real scenarios. There are real things.
Yeah, real things.
And I've seen these things.
Yeah.
Paul, I've seen eyes open.
Yeah.
I've seen legs grow out. I've seen it. But because you've got the theatrical performances, it makes it harder for people to believe. And then even people in the ministry world are like, really? You saw somebody's leg grow out? Yeah, it was right in front of me. The guy was like, one leg was here, the other leg was here. The guy was like, grow, and the leg went. I was like, I had only read about this stuff. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And so, but part of that is, and we talked about loving each other, part of that is that God likes to work in unity.
Yeah.
When people are together. Then he likes to come and show up. Like, look at y'all acting like y'all love each other. Look at y'all.
You know what's funny is I'm a Christian, but I don't have church. I don't go to church. My relationship is direct.
You are part of the church. Just like we're all part of it. You are part of the church because you're part of the body.
Yeah, of course. But I don't need to go and be in that building.
No, you don't necessarily have to do that. No.
I don't know. What do you think about the way Hollywood is? Like they had that show Lucifer, and a friend of mine was on it, and I wouldn't do that show. I mean, I don't, and I know people are going to look at that and say, man, Winters, you are so full of shit, because you look at some of the shows now, and it's like they're making the devil just kind of a nice guy.
Because but that's the trick, right?
That's the trick.
What was it, the saying that the biggest trick the devil ever pulled was to convince the world that he didn't exist.
Exactly.
Now I don't have to convince you that it is. I just want to convince you that I'm a nice guy.
Yeah.
But the scripture says the devil presents himself as an angel of light.
Exactly.
I want you to like me.
Yeah.
Because eventually you're going to have the Antichrist show up, the actual guy, and everybody's going to like him.
I like him.
Is that like that Muslim guy that popped up and he was like, and he basically touting himself as the Antichrist. I was like, he ain't the Antichrist. He ain't the Antichrist. Trust me, it'll be a whole different thing when that happens. But it's when he does show up, he's going to be the most charming. He's going to bring world peace to everybody. Yeah. Everybody's going to be at peace. But God constantly tries to show us, y'all can't keep yourselves at peace. Even when I came, you guys don't want to be at peace.
Well, that gets back to us all fighting.
It's all fight. You all want to fight each other. You all want to kill each other. You know, will we love each other? I'd like to say I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so.
But we probably won't.
Probably
We
not.
probably won't.
Well, don't they call this the Devil's Playground?
The Devil's Playground.
Now.
Yeah.
We did this when Amber and Grace, and it was about sex trafficking.
I remember that. I remember when you made that.
And we did some scenes. We made one of our bedrooms of the house we were in into the hotel room where she was kept prisoner. Yeah. And I tell you,
it's a hard thing, man. My little brother was sex trafficked. It's a hard thing.
I felt things in there. And when we were doing it, we did it with these people that were aligned. It was sort of her story, but these two ladies showed up. I said, "Who are you?" She goes, "We're the prayer team." I said, "Good, good," because I felt it. We took that thing apart, and you look into the abyss looks back.
You look in and you look in the abyss, it looks back.
Yeah, and you're not like high on the devil's list when you're anti-sex trafficking.
Yeah, And it's so funny that people think it doesn't happen.
Oh, absolutely.
It doesn't happen here.
What happened to you? Had a relative?
My little brother was sex trafficked. Yeah. Yeah, he was sex trafficked for 10 years. We didn't know where he was.
How'd they get him?
He left home one day. I was a youth pastor.
Yeah.
And there was a man who called himself Shane the Saint. And he came to the church. And I remember I was painting the youth church, and he was the only person who would help me paint the youth church. And my little brother was coming to the church. And one day Shane asked me, I'm working, I'm doing the youth ministry. He said, "Can I take your brother hiking?" Like, I don't care. He's 18. If you want to go hiking, he can go hiking.
18.
Yeah, I don't care. Yeah. And this guy, he was bouncing from church to church, and he was turning out little boys.
To where?
To himself, and then just, I don't know what happened after that. But he wound up, and I didn't think about it until we found out that my brother died. And he died in L.A.
So he died during it?
He died 10 years later, yeah. But 10 years before, so when he died, I was like, oh man, my brother. And then I thought in my heart, I said, the name Shane the Saint popped in my spirit. And I Googled him. He popped up on Facebook. and he was next to a little black boy who looked just like my little brother. When I say I mean just like my little brother. So this guy was bouncing around from church to church.
Where is he now?
Probably still here somewhere.
Wow.
Probably praying, but because they're 18.
Yeah.
But no, you're a horrible person, and you're going into the church as an older man, doing this, connecting with youth ministries, doing this to kids. If you did it to an 18-year-old, you did it to a 17-year-old.
Sure.
And everything, Paul, everything in me wanted to go and find that man and stomp a hole in him. Everything in me.
What stops you?
I don't want to go to jail. I don't want to go to jail, but also vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. And there are people, we will never be able to dish out punishment the way God can. And I have to accept that.
Yeah.
And live by the values that I believe. And that's, while it may be hard for me to forgive you, I'm going to let God deal with you.
Yeah.
I can't.
What do you think of these NDAs, near-death experiences, NDEs? A lot of people come back with these stories.
I think some of them are very real.
And I know 3 people who have died and come back.
Mm-hmm.
And they all tell me the same story. The same story of love.
Yeah.
But then you read about the ones that go to the dark
place. Go to the other place. And it's,
it's like, and they don't
when you find that these things the stories are consistent across the planet, there's a consistency of the imagery and a consistency of the stories. It gives you it's pretty convincing proof, you know. And as a Christian minister and theologian, it's not just my job to believe it. I believe it because I know it.
So you are a minister.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So do I believe that a lot of people have them? Absolutely.
Yeah.
And do I believe that a lot of people go to the other place and see it and they come back? And most of the time people go to the other place, come back and say, I'm sorry, I was wrong. And whatever you want me to do, God, I'll do it.
I saw one even said, Jesus help me. Boom, he went right.
Yeah.
They pulled him right.
Right. He was down there and poof, you believe in me now? Yeah, I believe. All right then. And that's the thing is, it's so funny because all he asks is that you just believe.
Yeah. Just
believe.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm not asking anything of you, but your belief is such a valuable thing.
Yeah. Well, you see all the scientists, and they all believe.
Most of them believe.
Most of them do. Yeah. Most.
When I look at people like even C.S. Lewis, who was an atheist, brilliant man, atheist. J.R.R. Tolkien took part in Lewis's conversion story.
Yeah.
And there are so many other people who were brilliant people. Chesterton, I love reading G.K. Chesterton. And all these other people who weren't believers, brilliant people who are like, well, yeah. But if you read the standard books or you look at just the standard scientific community, they would have you assume that most scientists don't believe. And that's just not true.
Well, I think the ones I'm talking about are the cream of the crop.
The
real smart ones.
The real smart ones.
Because I don't know. I read this thing, and I don't consider myself real smart like they are. But the guy was saying the world is so perfect. It's perfect.
It's perfect.
Everything is just.
Everything is exactly the way it needs to be for life to live.
Yeah, it's like.
And we have, as much as we try to find it on other planets, we haven't found it yet.
Well, how do you deny it?
How do you deny it? I think it was Isaac Newton, his book Principia Mathematica, and the opening, the dedication as it is. He wrote this book so that the thinking man could believe in God.
Yeah.
I want you're so educated, you think you know everything, but they expect rationality in nature because they expect a rational mind designed it. Mm-hmm. If it really was just all random chaos,
it would be random chaos.
It'd be random chaos, and nothing would work.
And when everything works.
It all works.
Everything is perfect.
It all works.
Yeah.
And no matter how much we try to redo it, it still all works.
Yeah.
We try to recreate it, it still works.
And what do you think about the flying saucer dudes? Who are they?
I honestly believe that what we call aliens and flying saucers are just divine beings from either different realms or different planets who have come down and done all sorts of whatever.
Yeah.
I really believe that. I do not believe that the ancients and all of their artwork and all of their depictions of these creatures were crazy. I don't think that at all. I think when I read the scriptures and I look at certain angelic beings, and it's, they had 4 heads, and they had wings with eyeballs all over the wings.
Yeah.
You know, that's
possible.
Probably looks like an alien.
Yeah.
When you see them, anytime somebody in the Bible sees them, they're told, "Don't be afraid."
Well, you ever seen a close-up a picture of an ant?
Pretty terrifying.
Yeah.
Or the those microscopic creatures when they blow up, they're like, "What the heck is that?"
Yeah, the mites in your pillow.
The mites in your pillow.
Yeah.
There's a whole universe down there.
Yeah.
And then inside of us,
Horton hears a who.
Yeah. And then inside of us, there's a whole universe inside of us
Billions.
that's all working together
I know,
to keep
it's
us
crazy.
going.
Yeah.
And you're telling me that all that happened just by accident from some sludge? No, it didn't.
Yeah.
You sound like an idiot.
Yeah.
And you're so smart, you sound stupid. You know? Oh, it's unguided random selection. Now, you've got a daughter. Now, that was not unguided random selection when your daughter was made. It just wasn't. You chose her mama chose you. And 9 months later, what's your daughter's name?
And everyone walking around is the same.
Exactly.
The
So
same
come
moment.
on, man. Come on.
Yeah. Well, I think we should wind this down, let you
Yeah.
go back to your ministering. But I'll put up your book. It was
Yeah.
good to talk to you. I hope people don't get mad at us for speaking about common sense.
If we can't, like I said, we can disagree,
Yeah.
but it doesn't mean that we have to be disagreeable
I
people.
agree.
We don't have to be disagreeable people.
Yeah. Well, it was good to see you, and I'll
Too, Paul.
put up your book, and I don't know, let's go make a movie, man.
Yeah.
Let's go make another.
Look,
Don't
I'm
be
here,
busy next
so.
time I call you.
And you know what? I really am. I'm trying to find like more local work so I
Yeah.
can just be around more.
Yeah.
You know, bouncing around the country is great, but it starts to wear you down, man.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
it's good you came back. It's good to see you.
Yeah, it's good
All
to
right,
see
so
you, Paul.
I'm sure you'll come back and do more because
Yeah.
I could keep talking, but I might. Anyway, good to see you.
You too, Paul.
And
Bless you, brother.
all right, bless you. All right.